Hello beauties and welcome back to my channel. We are going to do some different things with this wig today. This was my first wig. I'm so excited. We're doing some different things. All right, so need to make sure everything is good on here and that we are on. We are doing good. Let's see. I can go this one. All right, so I'm subscribed to that. All right. So yeah, we are here. And you are first, baby girl. You are first. Hang on one second. Let me put you as a mod. Give you your little mod status back here. That way you be green. Gotta have you green. All right. Moderator. There we go. All right. Now, the way that I do it, I told you before, is that we're just going to time them out if they're bad. And the second time, time them out. The third time, ban them for life. That means they're not going to be good. All right. Order in court. Watch your ears. I got a new toy. We're sending in all the good angels, all the good vibrations. Order in Betty's court. Order. All right, so we got a lot to go over. So this was my very first wig I purchased by myself when I started this wig journey. If you guys remember, I purchased this one by myself. Hey, SDA, how are you, baby? I purchased this all by myself, and this was the very first wig that has actually gotten me all the jobs that I'm doing now. But with this wig, now that I'm getting a little bit better at wigs and things like that, I decided that we are going to make this wig look a little bit more like real hair. Okay? We're going to stop all that where it doesn't look like real hair. Like this, how it looks right now, that doesn't really look real, right? Well, we don't want it to look like this. Okay? We don't want it to look like this. We want it to look real. Now, am I a pro at this? No. This is trial and error, baby. This is trial and error. It's you try something and you see if it works. If it doesn't work, you don't ever do it again. The thing is that I don't really want to mess up this wig because this was my first baby. This was my first one that got me where I am with these wigs today. Now, when I first purchased this wig, what went through my head was, I wished that a wig company would sponsor me. That's what went through my head, but I had no idea that it was actually going to happen, and it happened, and I was kind of blown away. So the last two wigs, which was the pink one and the ash blonde one, those two, how many do I have now? Oh, we're going to get to that. Those two wigs were sent to me. And then the one that I slayed the other night was sent to me. And then today, I told you guys about the wigs that were coming, which Lux Milan is this exact brand found me. And they sent me this one. Remember the other night when I was doing the wig and I said, oh, hang on just a second. I got to go and do all this. Okay. They sent me this one. And I got this one today. So that makes a total of, I bought this one first, the white one second, so that was two. And then they sent me the pink one, the ash blonde one, the honey blonde one, these two. So I have 7 wigs. 7 wigs. 7 wigs. 7 wigs. 7. I have 7. So it's going really fast. I mean, it's going really fast. I did, however, have one person with the last wig that I had on that everybody just thought it was the most beautiful color on me. And I thought it really looked great with my skin. But one person had to come in and say, that color washes you out. Well, it actually, in all reality, that color set my face on fire. That color brought me to life. That's facts. So, out of my 2 little wigs that I bought, I now have 5 from different companies, all been sent to me. And then I review them, put them on, slay them. And let me tell you something. I didn't know what the heck I was doing whenever I started. I just was researching, watching different videos, things like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a professional at any of this at all. I'm not sitting here saying I'm a professional, but I'm getting the hang of it. I'm learning. And it's like, Betty, you can do this. Now, this is not just for myself, as I said. My hair is growing out in a weird thing right now. I'm not liking it. The other day I wanted to cut it off. I wanted to dye it. Like, there was so much craziness I wanted to do to it. But that's what made me think of wigs. I was like, oh, well, you know what? One of the things I've never done ever, is put a wig on. Well, no, I take that back. One time, no, but you should already know, SDA, I'm a trendsetter. You should already know that. Every time I say something, somebody else is out there saying it too. Oh, no. When you glue down everything, you will glue it to your forehead. Everything that I did, which was called melting the cap, that's all normal and everything. But it didn't hurt me. It didn't hurt my edges. My hair still looks beautiful. It didn't do anything. So no, I didn't glue. No. Because that would be something I would do on accident. No, actually I paid really, really good attention. And now that I've done my first one, last night I bought, Got to Be glue, the gel Got to Be glue, and I bought the remover for it. So tomorrow night, we're going to do an easier way. I'm going to show you an easier way. We're going to slay it faster than we did the first time. I'm going to try to actually have the ball cap on and melted, and then the wig put on and glued down, all within 30 to 45 minutes. That's what I'm going to do. Now, last time, it took me like about 2.5 hours, right? But it is what it is. I was trying to do it slow and not mess it up and, things like that. The only thing I would do different, that I'm going to do different this time, is you see how high up my forehead is? Well, last time I only cut it to right here, right? Which was fine. But this time when I go up, I'm going to go all the way up, and I'm going to go to my hairline. And I'm going to start on this side, and I'm going to cut all the way down like this. And then I'm going to go to this side, and I'm going to cut all the way down like this. And then I'm going to cut like a little square right here. That way it makes a little square. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to cut a little square right here. And that way it just kind of holds it in. And so I've really been learning how to do that. Now, I don't know if this is going to, yeah, he is. He's always watching. He's always obsessed. Hi, Easy. How are you doing? How's it doing in Canada? How's the drugs? I know that you're always trying to find something about me that you can put out there. And you trying to say that I want to be 28. Dude, man, have you lost your ever living mind? There is people out there that's in their 50s or 60s, and they're like, if only I could go back to being 28, 30. No, that's not me. Okay? That's when I very first started my career. No, I would not want to go back to that. My kids were still young. No, no, no. No, thank you. I would not want to go back to any of that. Um, exactly. 100%. He knew that I looked good. And then he was saying that, I wanted to look like I was 28. Let me tell you something. There's 60-year-old women that do their baby hairs the way that they want to do it because it is unique. They want to do it the way they want to do it. That is none of your effing business, okay? Not 28-year-olds. Every age does it, weirdo. Anyway. He just mad. You want to know why he really mad? Because when I came out and said I was going to be doing wigs, what did he do? Do you remember what he did? I remember what he did. He went live, put a gas mask over his face, said that he was going to be modeling gas mask. And he said, and these were his words, that he's going to be known all over the world. He's going to become a millionaire by selling those gas masks, to try to make fun of me, until he started seeing these wigs being sent to me and that it wasn't an effing joke. Okay? It's not a joke, easy. This is for myself and this is for other people. Okay? You understand that? I know you don't help anyone. Let me tell you a story. Let me tell you a little story. There was someone that I met that Easy met in Easy's room. Hadn't talked to him in a while, and they call me Betty Boop, which a lot of people call me Betty Boop, okay? They have since I was a little kid. Now, order in the court. Order in my court. They wrote me this big, long message. Betty Boop, how you been doing? Blah, blah, blah. I haven't seen you. Blah, blah, blah. And I said, yeah, I don't hang out with Easy anymore. He wrote me back this big, huge fucking message, Easy. Not only are you a fucking dick and you don't support your supporters, but this particular dude gave you $20 when you didn't have a fucking dollar to your name. And then when this dude asked you for $20, you ignored he even asked you. What does that tell you, Easy? I told you you don't go and you don't support your people, but you damn sure asked for $20 back when you first started, and this person gave it to you. And then when they asked for $20, what did you do? You totally ignored them asking you for $20, which, by the way, Easy, wake this up. The membership again went through again this month on the 7th, and my bank canceled it. And now my bank has canceled it. Because I told you it was on there for you to cancel it. I couldn't, and you wouldn't. And so now my bank did. You're a piece of shit. Straight up. Hello, the shit show. Welcome to my shit show. All right. Betty looked good and Easy got jealous. She looked 28. You go, girl. Yeah. And that's the thing. Easy. I don't want to be 28. I don't want to be 31. That's my kid's age, dude. You're a fucking freak and a weirdo. You got that right. He is not the prettiest girl at the party. So, could you imagine giving $20 to that punk ass motherfucker when he first started on YouTube? Can you imagine the audacity giving that motherfucker $20 and then you're in a bind, you're hurting, you never asked back for the $20, nothing, and the motherfucker ignores you like you never even fucking did anything for him? Yeah. That was shitty, dude. That's shitty. I'm sorry. You're a shitty person. And that was fucking shitty, dude. Just fucking shitty. And when I talked to that person, I was just like, man, I'm sorry. But I left because the way he treats women, the way he talks, how he acts like he's God when he's Lucifer, when he follows everything Lucifer does. I said he don't support any of his supporters. All the people in his chat that actually have channels, do you ever see him go super chat them? Do you ever see him go join their channels? Fuck no. But you want to know something? Like with me, if I support you, it's because I support you. I will join your membership. I will support what you're doing. I will give you super chats. And how many did I give you? Easy? Yeah. Not like a Stephanie Mandy, your sugar mama. Oh, and I got verified proof of that. And then you tried to tell somebody that you was working with the FBI in Canada. Let me tell you something, you dumb motherfucker. There is no FBI in Canada. Nope. Nope, it's not called the FBI, you weirdo. Now, I don't know why you would say what the United States does, but you ain't working with no FBI in Canada, okay? Oh, he actually gave $2 to Constance Sue. Oh my God, we better fall over. Fall over dead that he gave her $2. And he probably only did that because I said it weeks ago that he don't support his supporters. Right. Isn't that funny that you have the FBI there? Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that you have the FBI in Canada? Did anybody else know that the FBI was in Canada? Exactly. Exactly. And, remember, he said he was so rich. He was so rich when he first came here, and all of this. Why would he need $20 from this person? Wake it up. Wake it up. Why would he need it? Why? Because he wasn't. Because he wasn't. And if he thinks he's rich off the little shit he does, which his videos only hit like 2,000-3,000, that's not being rich, dude. Even at 6,000, that's not being rich, dude. That's not being rich. Your paychecks were good for the first 2 or 3 months. They're slowing down. And they're going to continue to go down, 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 down. Because people don't want to sit there and support your BS. Okay? You have zero content. You actually sit there and you use everybody else's content and you just go around saying all kinds of things that you call reaction videos bullshit. And you're not black, so stop saying you are. Period. Period. You ain't black. I guarantee you we do a DNA, you ain't black. There ain't nothing in you black. And the one thing that you would have, if you had any African American in you whatsoever, the one thing that you would have is the hair. Period. And you ain't got it. Your hair dyes like a white person, and your hair is like a white person. Right? Right? And like she says, we have CSIS, not FBI. But he straight up told somebody that he was working with the FBI for racketeering, money laundering. But isn't it funny? Isn't it funny though? Money laundering would be what he's doing with Jaded, Stephanie, Mandy, whoever the fuck her name is today, because he can't get Cash App in Canada. But he has in her name, which is in the United States, and it's under Speakeasy's Bears now. But I already took a picture of when it was under Jaded Raven. And then she sends you your cash apps, which is actually against the law. And it's going to go against her Social Security number. So when it comes time to, do your taxes, girlfriend, if you think you're going to skip out, well, don't think you are, because they're really hitting really hard in the United States because of all these people that have been skipping out and not paying on their cash apps. You are the one responsible to pay back all that money. Now, do you honestly think that Easy's going to pay back any taxes on that money? Well, if I was you, I'd be taking out a percentage, because up here it's 9%. It might even be more percent where you are. I'd be taking out a percentage saying this is going to the taxes on every transaction. Telling you. I'm just telling you. I know. So Easy. Do you sit there and look around and say, oh, I wish I was 15 again? I'm just wondering, because that's exactly what you're doing to me. So if you don't wish that you was 15 again, I damn sure don't wish I was 28 again. Now, I may look 28 all day long, but that's my genes. That's just the way that I was born and raised. That's it. But I didn't get hooked on substances, and I didn't do fucking drugs, and I'm not an alcoholic. And so therefore, it shows in my face. Yes. Order in my court. There is no FBI in Canada. Stop falling for that bullshit. Now, he running around just telling all kinds of different people his little secret that he's undercover with the FBI in Canada. No, you're not. No, you're not. You ain't undercover you ain't under any covers unless it's the fucking covers that grandma bought you. Now, you like my new bell? Yeah, that's my order in the court. Exactly. People that are not dumb could Google that and see that there's no FBI in Canada. And damn sure, why would they take a 31-year-old like him and have him undercover? For what? For what? Nothing. Matter of fact, he stays as clear and as far away from the police as his ass can go. Wannabe gangster, right? Order in the court. Mr. Gangster, we just took your fucking gang rank. Now, back to my originally scheduled program, which is my hair that you laughed about and thought that, put your stupid ass gas mask on and you look dumb as fuck. That I want to know, though, where are you selling them gas masks at? You said you was going to be modeling for them. Was you telling a lie? You was telling a lie, wasn't you? Yep. Trying to make fun of a real model. Trying to make fun of a real influencer. Bad boy. Don't think FBI want him if he was a drug dealer. All right. Fucking. Oh, that dude tells so many stories. I don't think he even knows the truth anymore of his stories. Like, doesn't know them. You like my belt? That's right. Yeah. Yeah. You're not mafia. Wake that up. You're not mafia. Son of a gun. Oh my God. All right. So, anyway, we are going to do something with this hair. We're going to do something with this hair. And then we're going to do a couple of angel readings for members, which would be SDA, the Internet FBI, and if my girl, where's my? I'm trying. I almost said her real name. Night Owl. If my girl Night Owl comes in, I'll be doing a reading for her because those are my members right now. The FBI did not wasn't able to become a member, but she paid the $4.99 just like a member. So she is a beauty as well. All of my members are beauties. You're beauties because you're beautiful anyway. You're beautiful inside, you're beautiful outside, you're beautiful all the way around. All right, so anyway. All right, so what we're going to do with this hair, okay? We've got different options. We could put the wax on it, and we could kind of comb it and just kind of slay it that way. Or we could put this it's from Beach Waver, which is my curling iron. Beach Waver. And this is like got the argan keratin serum. We could put that in it. Let's see. Actually, Speakeasy, the real Speakeasy from California, is a damn good rapper. His song Mopstick is the bomb. And he's got a few other songs too I've been listening to, and I really like him. But the real Escape Easy, the real one, the one that is signed, the one that is signed to a label and has albums and actually signed, that Speakeasy is really good. That one is really good. All right. Now, what else do we got? We got one cigarette left, but we got several cartons, so we're good. I make your tummy tingle. Now we're waiting on our new cards. We got some what's the tea cards coming in. So people that don't understand tarot will understand it better because it's more like, you know, just the easy words, and you'll understand it a lot better. However, a lot of things like to do with reading and stuff, you got to already just kind of have it. Order in the court. SDA's got to call the FBI in Canada. Oh yeah. So before I continue, I want to say to the fake easy, the fake Speakeasy, give that boy back his $20 plus interest. It's been about 6 months now. Give that boy back about $50. You weaselly piece of shit. And oh my God, you thought that phone call of my daughter was just the end of me. Oh shit, I gotta laugh because that phone call actually began to be the beginning of me. That phone call actually helped me a lot. It helped me a lot. My daughter had nothing bad to say except YouTube. That's it, YouTube. YouTube. Because they knew how stressed out and shit I would be, or how I would cry, how shit would bother me. Now it's like, psst, get out of here. Been there, done that, went through it, had it said 100 million times, say it 100 million more times. Or if you believe it, go back and listen to it again. Shit. Oh my goodness. So thank you for that phone call. Yeah. Now the part about you wanting my face shot off and wanting to shoot me in my head, well, that part is not funny at all. And dude, with you stalking me and with that, butt cheeks, you're back. Okay, yes, order in the court. SDA's calling the FBI, right? She's on hold with them right now in Canada. Hey, butt cheeks, do you need this one to be wrenched as well? Are you not on the FBI one no more? Oh, you're on both of them. That's right. Don't come in here acting crazy. We'll call the FBI in Canada. I can't. Oh my goodness. Wow, I crack myself up sometimes. Oh, but in all seriousness, giving back his $20 plus interest. So give the dude back $50 for real. When you was down on your luck, boy, he gave you that $20 for whatever the F you needed it for. So give it back in interest, especially since you ignored him and acted like he wasn't even effing there. Because you never know, if you come down on hard times again and you ask for something, that person ain't going to be there, buddy. Fucking crack me up. All right. So we're going to do something with this wig. All right. So first of all, do I want to put the promenade on it, or do I want to just put the keratin on it? Because it doesn't really matter. The hair is not alive, but I don't want it to look too shiny. So, hey, Jess, how are you, baby? You are late. Well, that's okay then. All right. You don't get no absentee ballot today. I will not give you an absentee. I actually will take it off now because you had to cook your son some steak. So you got out of this one this time. But I did text you, and I know you got that text. I got my new bell, and it's order in the court when we come here. We have to, I'm the judge with my bell. All right, so we are going to do something to this hair to make it look more realistic. Hey, talk to no one. How are you, sweetheart? We're going to make it look more realistic so that we don't look like we're wearing a wig. Because this is my favorite, because she was the first one I bought, and she was what started me in this new adventure with these wigs. So this is always going to be my baby, no matter what. Yes, you should call him right up. Call him right up. Call him, yes. Yes, I agree with that, SDA. Call him right up. All right, so this is my baby. This right here is my baby. She's my baby. And we're going to make her look pretty and make her not look like she is a wig because, you know, she needs some tender love and care. And isn't this color pretty? Talk no more. Isn't this color pretty? And she just needs some love. Never in a million years did I think when I got her that like my whole career was going to take off, especially with wigs and stuff. Because you guys know I have my own beautiful hair, but that's not the thing. I know it. I slayed it. Oh my God! Thank you so much. Order in the court. I know everybody was there watching me on Discord, watching me and stuff like that, thinking, oh my God, she's going to ruin this. She's going to F that wig up. She's going to F everything up. And I slayed it. Like I thought to myself when I got done, holy mackerel, you did it, girl. You did it. So I loved that color. I love that color. I will wear that one again. And I'll teach you how to put it on again whenever you haven't worn it. But this time, thank you, baby. This time, the next time that we do a wig install, which is tomorrow night, I am going to be faster. I'm going to use different products. I found different products I want to use. And we got two. We got two that just came in. Remember those two I was telling you about? Betty don't lie. Okay? That's one thing about me. I don't lie. And these were sent to me by the company. Okay? Yes. I didn't pay shipping and I didn't pay for them. But anyway, we're going to pick today which one. I'm going to get them out in a minute. We're going to pick today which one we want to slay tomorrow night because tomorrow night is the night. But my goal is to have my cap done and all prepared and to get that wig on and the lace glued down within 30 to 45 minutes. 45 minutes tops. That's my goal. That's my goal. I'm setting it as a goal. Oh, honey, I got four. I got 4 different wig companies. 4 of them. I mean, this right here was meant to be. This was something I never thought in a million years I would embark on or do or anything. And I got 4 wig companies now, like 4 of them. I got wigs coming out of the wig network. But this isn't just for me. I want everybody to know that this is for all of you that want to learn how to wear wigs, how to style wigs, how to slay wigs. That if I can do it, you can do it. You know, like you ain't got to be no professional. You can do it yourself. And I'm telling you, how did it come about? Okay, so what happened was 2 weeks ago, I was thinking to myself, I'm sick and tired, because I want to grow out my silver, right? And my silver's out to about right here, which is about 4 inches. Well, I'm just sick and tired of the color. I'm sick and tired of, I've already spent like $500 on it, getting everything to blend and stuff. I almost cut that crap off or dyed it, which I had my dark dye in there. And I mean, it took everything I had. It's kind of like, how you have those urges and you're going to do it. And then you have to slap your hands and go, no. That defeats everything you just did if you continue to do this. If you go further, Betty, this will just defeat it. That silver's still going to grow in. You're going to be using box dye every month. Yada, yada. This is not what you want. This is not what you want. Not what you want. So I began on the wig journey. And I was like, well, okay, so I'm going to go purchase a few wigs. And then I thought to myself, I could purchase, like three wigs a month. And then I thought to myself, not only could this help me, but this could help people that are having thinning hair, balding hair, medical conditions that made them lose their hair. I could help a lot of people. Because if I'm doing it and I'm going out of my house wearing them and not giving a crap and making them look like they should be looking like real hair, then they can do it too. And that's what happened. So I put the wig on. I showed you guys and stuff. Then I took pictures with it. Then I went to Amazon and I put a review up. And from there, all of those, all of these different companies started reaching out to me. Would you like to review our wigs? Would you like to review our wigs? Would you like to review our wigs? You know, and then just started sending them to me. Now I have um, five wigs that have been sent to me, and then two that I purchased. The first two I purchased, five since I purchased. So we're going to look at them before we slay this and we do something to this to make this not look so wiggy, because it looks wiggy to me, right? It doesn't look real. It looks wiggy, and I want to do something to make it not look wiggy. I don't know what I'm going to do, but we're going to all do it together. We're going to all do it together. Oh, yeah. And don't be scared to chat in the comments, because that's what it's for. That's what those side comments are for, is for you all to chat and have fun. Yes, sub up to Jess, please. Thank you, because she needs to get to 50 so she can go live. Also, sub up to the Internet FBI. She's in here somewhere, because she needs to be able to put her music on. Exactly. That's another thing. I like these I got a couple of these caps coming in. I really do like these. I do like these. I like to put them on my regular head and go, I have a ton of these. But I bought some more because the ones that I had were kind of outdated, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to wear those outdated ones. So I bought me some more. But I did get a new silk bonnet. I want to show you my new silk bonnet. It was in my description below that I found, that I said that it was on its way. And here she be. And she came in this. It was from Amazon for $8.99. She came in this little thing right here. Yes. And the reason I like her is because, do you see her? Okay. So you put her on, right? And then you take these two little things and you wrap it around. So you make it tighter. I know. You like my belt? You wrap it around and then you make a bow in the front. And so it also keeps it tighter. Yes, there's my FBI bitch. So everybody's cleared in here. So it keeps it tighter. But look how beautiful she is. Like, she's beautiful. She's silk. She's everything. She's everything. Okay. $8.99 is what I gave for her on Amazon. So I will show you, when I put her on that night after I do my install and I get ready to go to bed, I'll put her on. Okay, now the con. Okay, you guys know how I'm being very open and everything about everything. The pros and the cons to the wig I installed the other day. Okay. The con of the wig that I installed the other day is it started hurting my ear right here. And that is because I figured out why. When I had cut my hair, or not cut, but when I had cut the mesh, the mesh that was on it, when I cut that, ow, 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 hang on. Cigarette burn alert. That hurt like a bitch. Okay, when I cut the mesh, I did not actually cut enough around the ear part, so that mesh was rubbing on my ear and it was hurting like a mofo. Okay, so that is one thing we're going to concentrate on with the next install is before I put her on. Before I put her on, I am going to cut all around her ear. You see what I'm saying? Before I put the wig on and stuff, before I install the unit, I'm going to cut all around the ear parts. Now this one I did good, the last one. But this one, that mesh was rubbing my ear, making me almost want to cry. And when I went up in there to try to cut it, I was afraid I might cut the wig. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do all that. Okay. So we're going to go with the first wig, which is Lux Milan, which is the same brand as this one. Okay. And it comes packaged like this. And it has their name on it. And I really like the name Lux Milan. Lux Milan. Okay, we're going to open her up. All right, this is the burgundy one that we're going to be slaying. Okay. Look at that beautiful burgundy. All right, so we got to take the net off for you to actually get a good look at her. All of these wigs come with nets because it keeps them in place. They come with these black things. Now, look at her. Look at that beautiful color. Ooh-wee, look at that. Ooh. Oh, my goodness. And she is a frontal. But this, you see all of this lace right here? You see all of this lace right here? And see how it goes around the ears right here? So that's the part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my head before the show. And I'm going to cut all around the ear. I'm going to cut all around the ear right there. See that right there? Oh, isn't she going to be pretty? All right. Now, you see how now the knots have been bleached. This is a pre-plucked. Hang on. I'll have to tell you what it is. It's pre-plucked, bleached. Okay, now what it means by bleach, because a lot of people don't understand. Used to, when women would get these wigs, the way that the scalp was, it wasn't done right. So they would bleach the knots, okay? They would bleach them, and then they would pre-pluck them, and then they put makeup. Now look at that. Look at that. That almost looks like skin. Look at that. Look at that. So I'm going to take on the bottom of it, you see, but you can see the plucking, right? You can see all those plucks. So I'm going to take it, turn it over, and right there where you see that little line right there, I'm going to put some concealer right there. That's going to take some of those pre-plucks or, you know, some of those plucking things out. That way that it doesn't look as, you know, much like a wig. That way, whenever I slay this, it's going to look all natural. Now, I love how the part is just, the part goes to right here. It's not going to be that much, but look at that. You see that? You see how they pre-bleached it before and everything. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but see that? That's going to be really easy for me to do. But look at how beautiful she is. I mean, look at this. Look at the colors. This one was called like a burgundy. This was like a burgundy. So actually, it's hard to show, but actually you can see like the burgundy in it. Like when you turn different ways in the light, you can see the burgundy in different ways. And really up close, you could see the burgundy. See that? Can you see it? So then it looks like, see how much, there's not that much of the mesh. There's not much of it. So it's not going to be a lot that I have to cut off. If you see the last one was like a lot. So this one's going to be really easy. This is going to be a really good install. It also comes with the combs. It's got one comb. Looks like it's got, two at the top and one at the bottom. Do you see those combs? Then it's got the thing down here where I show you guys where I tighten it and stuff. all these little things right here where you tighten it down. And I told you I go all the way to the end because my head is very small. My head's so small that I have to take like caps, actual ball caps and stuff, and I have to take them to the very end and take them over sometimes. So right now I'm putting them in the slot here. And then the comb, I found the one in the back. It's really good to push up, and it keeps your thing from messing up. All right. So here she is in all her glory. I can't remember how many inches she is. Yeah. Especially you got it. Yeah. No, we're not putting her on today. We're going to take a vote on what we're going to do. So this is one of them. And I can't wait to put her on because it reminds me of my natural color. Now look at her. There is nothing that looks like a wig. When I put her on, I'm going to slay her and I'm going to wear her. I'm going to try to wear her for a long period of time, actually. Maybe a week or 2 weeks or something. But look at that. Isn't that pretty? I'm really going to wear her for quite some time. The next install that I do, though, it's going to be, we're going to decide, okay? So it's going to be either this burgundy one right here, okay? Or, let me get the other one. Isn't she beautiful? Oh, she's so pretty. I'm telling you, Lux Milan, they are the shiznit. And look, she fits right back in the box, just like that. So we can just put her back until we get, and that's another thing. When I put the wigs on, we got to think of names. I got to change my name and everything. So we got to think of new names because I'll be a whole new person. What happened, Kimmy? I just don't remember everything that my sister remembers. She's 19 months older than me. Oh my goodness. Ooh. Oh, I'm so sorry. Night Owl, nice to see you, baby. I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully this will get you over the creepiness and stuff. Hopefully this will show you that they're not creepy. They're not creepy, honey. But I can see with you being a young kid and that happening and everything, I can see where that triggers you. But with me, bring out all your angels, face those fears, and know that these are to make you look beautiful. They're not to creep you out. We're going to change the way you think. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Well, we're bringing in angels, bring in all the angels for the internet FBI, bring in all angels to help her to understand now that these are actually good. And you know what? Now that you tell me that story, see that this will help you now, because now you don't have to see them as bad and you don't have to see them as something that happened bad. Now you get to see them as something that is like Night Owl says, fun and fabulous, and we get to be different people and we get to have different names and things like that. Okay's coming. Okay. So yeah, hopefully we can help you to face your fears, and just know that these are to make you beautiful and to also help people that don't have any hair or they're getting thinning or balding, and they make them beautiful. I'm sorry that your mom had mental issues to where she done that and she wore wigs and stuff. But also look at this. These are not the same wigs as what she had hanging up. Okay. These are not what she had. These are all good karma, good stuff. Yeah, they're not going to hurt you, you know. Well, we take the creeper out. We take that creeper out, that creeper filling, and hopefully with me doing these and doing the installs, hopefully you start to get a better outlook on them, because it looks like you're facing your fears really good right now, and I'm proud of you. See, proud of Kimmy. I'm proud of Kimmy. Oh, little Dave. Okay, so I will help you as much as I can, sweetheart. Just like some people are afraid of clowns. My daughter, Madison, is absolutely terrified of clowns. And then my sister used to collect clowns as we was growing up. Okay, so this one comes like this. Oh, comes like this. It comes with a black net. It comes with a hair clip. It's so weird how they come with so many different things, you know? They all come with different things. Well, I am so glad that you are facing your fears. They use synthetic hair. It's just like fake hair that they use for these wigs. I do have one India hair coming. No, but the one that's coming next, it is actually human hair. But these are all fake. These are like, yeah, like Barbie doll hair. Except these feel better than Barbie doll hair. Barbie doll hair was really, really bad synthetic. We couldn't do nothing with her hair. But yeah, Night Owl's really good at explaining, because Night Owl's a hairdresser. That's her profession. Oh, I got the net stuck on my ring. Hang on. So we're going to start knowing that Kimmy has fears of this. So now we got to start teaching Kimmy to think positive, and then it's to help people that are balding or to make people feel good, and it's for fun, and it's not to hurt anyone. We're going to help Kimmy. But Kimmy, look, they even gave me a little clip. Look at that. They gave me my own little clip. That way I can clip it away from my face. Isn't that cool? No, I would never glue my hair on backwards. No, no, no. The clip will just keep the hair away from my face. Because the other day when I was trying to do my baby hairs, now here's our other one. Now, I am in love with this one. Now, see how she's pre-plucked and pre-bleached as well? Remember what I told you I'm going to do with that? You see all that? But I'm going to take concealer and put it all underneath and make it all look like you could barely see all of this, and it's going to look all different. Yeah, so see? Now look how pretty she is. Look at her. Look at her. Isn't she pretty? And then she's got two pink little stripes. Isn't that cute? And then she does have the baby hair as well. She has little baby hairs. See how she has little baby hairs? So we're going to make some cute little baby hairs. And she comes, hang on one second. She comes with the clips. See, she's got the 3 clips. And then we also tighten her up at the bottom. And this is like HD lace, so like there's not that much of it. As you can see, there's not that much of it, which is really good. This is an actual really, really nice wig, just like the last one. But isn't she beautiful? Oh, and that color is going to be really pretty on me too. Does it look scary like this, though? Where it's just like this? Don't you like her pink? Do you like her pink little, her unique little pink things? And then I'm going to do the little baby hair like I told you. Does it look scary like this? Yes, my sponsorship includes the wigs. Oh, okay. So when I have it like this, it doesn't scare you? Look how pretty she is. She's like a chestnut brown color. So which one do you guys want me to do first? This one? Yeah, it is, isn't it? I could name her Melania. Yes. Yes, she could be Melania. I like them both, but which one do you like? For instance, she is my favorite because I like the pink. What do you think? Yeah, she's got the pink in the front. I'm trying not to show the front so much because it scares Kimmy, but she's got the pink in the front. You think this one we should do tomorrow night? Yeah, see the pink right there? You like that, Kimmy? Isn't that cute? And then once we get her on, Kimmy, you're not going to be afraid of her anymore. You're going to see how pretty she is. You likey? See, you're going to see how pretty she is. And then I'm going to fix all of this. I'll do a video fixing this and showing you guys what it looks like before and what it looks like after, before I do the install. That way that you guys can see. But she is pre-bleached. A lot of women, they have to bleach it because they don't want all of these little things showing. And she is pre-plucked. So she's going to look at this. She's going to look flawless on me. Look at that. Look at that up there. She's going to look flawless. Hairline where? There. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah. Easy thinks I look 28. So this one is the one that we're going to do tomorrow. And I'm going to put her up so that she doesn't bother FBI. But you did great, Kimmy. You did amazing. You did amazing, Kimmy. And come to my install tomorrow night, Kimmy. Come to my install so you're not so afraid, so you can see me put her on and stuff. So I'm going to, behind the scenes, I can record it if you want me to, but I'm going to have to fix her scalp and make her look more realistic. That way that those little plucked parts don't look like that. And it's made by Fable. Fable_hair. You'll be there, you promise? Tonight, we are going to be fixing this one. We are going to take this one and we are going to do something with her and make her look not like a wig. We just got to think of what we're going to do with her. Because since she's my first one, she's always going to be my baby. You know what I mean? She's always going to be my baby. And, well, I want you to be there, Kimmy, so that you see how I put them on and you don't have to be afraid. And you can see how fun and pretty it looks. You know? You didn't know this was a wig? Yeah. This was my very first one. You thought my hair was real? You thought I dyed my hair? See, that's good. That's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make people think it's my real hair. See? Order in the court. Kimmy's not going to be afraid of wigs no more. Yeah, that is a compliment. He said I look 28. But the way he said it because he couldn't say anything nice when I was putting my makeup on. The way that he said it was, Betty's trying to be 28 again. Without the beanie, it's just the bangs. Yeah, he said that. Yeah. He took a picture of me doing my makeup with that wig on that I had. And then he was like, Betty, yes, we accomplished some things tonight. Yes, we did. Betty, look at Betty. He said, look at this racist 48-year-old woman trying to be 28. That's what he said. Nope. I ain't trying to be no one but me. Oh, he said it on his community page and put a picture of me. Because he flagged me. He tagged me in it, and you're sub to me, so it's gonna automatically show on your stuff. Yeah, see? Yeah, he's jealous. He's jealous. He's already looking like he's like fucking 35. He's not gonna age very well. Hey, give him 17 more years and let's see how great his face looks with all those drugs and shit he's doing to himself. Yeah, give him 17 more years. Yes, he is. You know what? Listen, we've already determined that projection, when people project things onto you, they're the ones that actually is that way. And yeah. Yeah, but then he wouldn't have no content. He would be a nobody, which he is a nobody. Right? Wait till his hair starts falling out. He might be one of those, right? He might be one of those that has a lot of hair right now, and then in a few years might go bald. You know, you never know. Yes, order in the court. Stop bothering us. We don't like you. We think you're creepy. Talk about creep. You are. It's weird. All right. So anyway. All right. We're going to do something to this beauty. This is my beauty. Right? Exactly. Yeah. You never know in 2 years, you know? Right. He can't even fit in with real men. Nope. 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 But anyways, he's kind of he's boring to talk about. Okay, so I have a question for Night Out. Night Out. This right here is my argan keratin serum. But if I put that in my wig, is that going to make it shiny? Because I'm trying to take the shine out of it. I want the shine to go out of it. No, you're correct on that, but also he can't take a loss. He always has to win. Always, always. He don't believe in winners and losers. He just believes he wins all the time. He even said it in one of his songs that people should just believe in everything he says. He even says that he believes he's the best in the whole world. Yeah, keep believing it. So don't use this. Okay, what about the promenade that I have in there that I'll bring out and show you? Because I was wanting to ask you, I don't want it to be oily. Yes, he is a crybaby. He cries all the time. Like a little kid. Stomps his feet when he don't get his way. Okay, so I have this that I didn't even know that I had, that I bought. I bought it a long time ago, and it's called Cremo. Hang on, let's get the glasses on because you know me, I am definitely blind. I bought this a while back for Steven. And this is what I should have used on the baby hairs. This is what I'm going to use on the baby hairs tomorrow night. But he brought it out and he's like, babe, I don't really never use this. But it's called Polish. It's premium barber grade. I think I gave 45 or something like that for it. So the polish is going to be too shiny too. Okay, so what would you think I should put on this to make it where it dulls it down a little bit? And I'm going to brush her. I'm going to comb her a little bit. That's what I should do. I should look up some products, shouldn't I? Well, they've got that wax stuff. Does that wax stuff? Because when I put that wax stuff on it the other day, when I put that right here on this part of the wig I installed, it didn't make it look shiny at all. You think that wax stuff would work? Because I know they put that wax stuff in these wigs. I do know that they do that. Yeah, it's wax for wigs. It came in all that stuff that that I had together, and I used that wax stuff, and it's made for wigs. You know that wax stick? Yeah, I'll show it to you. It's made for wigs, and it like lays your hair down, and they put it in their wigs all the time. Let me get it so I can show you. All right, so this is it right here. And then it's a wax stick. And you do it like deodorant. Like this. See if you can see it. Can you see that? The wax sticking up? No, on this one, I actually bought myself. And it's a whole kit to put wigs on. But I'm not going to use this kit next time. I'm not going to use this kit. No. It just kind of, it has a smell, but not really. Kind of smells like really nothing. Maybe a tiny bit of coconut. Maybe. Oh, and I was going to ask about this too. Okay, they sent me this for the edge control that I can put on my edges. Should I put that on my edges next time instead of the serum instead of the keratin that I used? I mean, it didn't bother my edges at all. My edges look beautiful. Should I put that on when I do that? Now this smells good. Should I put this on my edges though before I start the install? This smells good. Oh yeah. Oh, this smells this smells good. This has a yummy smell. But you see, I don't know if you can see it or not. It looks like that. And then you're supposed to put it on your edges and it protects your edges. Now my edges were protected, but it's because I used this. I used that argan and keratin on my edges. Yeah, they probably do. I just thought I would just do it tonight on whatever it is that I had, but I don't want to mess my wig up because it's my first wig I bought, and so she's the one that's gotten me all the other wigs, and she's the one that, you know, she got high standards. But with this wax, like if you could see it, can you see the wax? See if we can do it where you can see it. Can you see the wax in there? See that? It's really hard to show, but I'm sure you can kind of see it. That's wax. With this wax, I'm sure I could just put it on there like they do and then start combing it, and then it will take the shine out because I noticed it took the shine out. The wax, okay. So let's just put some wax in here. Yeah, it's sticky. But I want to fix this one and make her look all real and stuff because she's my baby. Use sparingly. So that's enough. That should be enough. I got to go on this side though. See, I'm learning myself. Not too much. Is that enough? Just a little bit. That enough? See, I'm learning myself how to make these wigs look pretty. Oh, got to start from the bottom. I'm learning for myself how to make these wigs look pretty and look real, but, you know, look like real hair, not that fake hair. And I know I can make her look real. I didn't even see your new video. What'd you put up? Is it doing better with the tags, SDA? I didn't see your new video. I slept all day today, ladies. Betty has slept all day. Do you want me to show your video? Well, no, I want everybody to go to her video so she gets the views. I'll watch it after I get done with my live. I didn't feel good today either. I slept all day. I went to bed at 6 o'clock this morning, and I slept all day long. But I hope you get to feeling better, Night Owl, because I love you. Ooh, I don't like them stomach aches. Thank you, Jess, so much. Thank you so much, SDA. SDA shared her link to her video, and then Jess shared it. I have so many amazing people. Oh, we got you. We understand. You like the shine? Yeah, it seems to be still shiny, but not as bad. Like, not as fake looking as it was. You know what I mean? It seems to, that wax seems to be doing really well. Because, see, it's still shiny, but it's not looking as fake as it was. It's actually feeling really good. Yeah, it's actually feeling good. I just want to keep her really pretty, and she's my first one that I purchased and that even got me into this. So I feel like she's my baby, and that's why I want to keep her looking beautiful and pretty. We got a little knot, but we're not going to rip. We're going to just work through it. Here, we'll put a little bit of wax on it. That way we don't rip her. So we got a little bit of a knot here. I don't know how we got it, but sometimes these wigs just get knots on their own. See, that worked really good to take that out. Okay, you're doing good. You're doing good. Don't worry, honey. We're all nervous when we, believe me, sometimes when I still go live, I still get nervous. Washing it, it will calm down over time. Washing it with the wig shampoo will help. Also, we used to use fabric softener in a spray bottle to detangle our mannequin in hairdressing school. Yeah, I did see that. They use fabric softener or they use conditioner in water. Yeah, it's really nerve-wracking, but I'm trying to help SDA that once she starts seeing the people come in and stuff, and she's got an audience, it's not so scary anymore. I need to get one of those wig brushes too. You know, those ones that, because like it brushes back your edges really well. I just want to make sure that this one's good. But I want to keep her, she's kind of tangled, and that's why I'm trying to get her to look really pretty. Because this, I don't think she's ever been like combed or anything. I don't think she ever has been. Because she's got some knots and stuff, you know. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Because I don't have an actual wig brush. I just have the combs. So I'm gonna invest in the wig brushes. But she's coming out beautiful though. She's working. That wax is working well on her. Hey, Black Spy, how are you? I know, right? Isn't that awesome? No, that's just Night Owl. Regular Night Owl, not Charlie. It's regular Night Owl. That's my regular Night Owl. She's been my friend for almost going on 4 years now. By a wet brush with the closer together brush. Yeah, it would the brush that I seen that I want that I'm getting off Amazon is really. I'll show it to you whenever I get done. I'll show it to you. I'll show you as soon as I get done. It looks really great to put back your edges. Yeah. Well, yeah, sometimes you got to take a break from this I call it mental tube sometimes. And now I just do wigs and talk and stuff like that, you know. Just do some chatting. Oh wow, really? Has it been helping you? I mean, now I'm worried about your heart because how's that going? What are they going to do about that? Guys, everybody, I need you to put some prayers in the chat for Black Spy because he's got some fluid around his heart. He just went to the doctor and had something done, and they said he's got fluid around his heart, and he's only 48, the same age as me. I believe you're the same age. Aren't you the same age as me, Black Spy? Thank you for the prayers. Thank you. Because it's really scary when you got all that around your heart. So what do you think about this now? Yeah, it's toxic. Yeah. So look at this. Look how we can just take a comb right through her now. And look how pretty. Look at that. I think that wax was perfect. That wax was absolutely perfect. Look at that. What do you think of her now? Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Hey, you want to hear the bell? Here's my new bell. Order in the court. Black Spy, that's my new bell. All right, so what do we think of this side compared to this side? Because we haven't done this side yet. So this side, what do we think? I like the wig thing because you are doing it to help women who need them. And for a lady to go bald partly must be so hard. Yeah, because that's the thing, is that your hair is your personality. Your hair is your beauty. Your hair is everything. And when you lose it and you can't do anything, oh, the color looks natural, baby. I've had my hair this color before. My natural hair. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I've had this color on my natural before. It's called bright burgundy. Ooh. Really? What is that? Night Owl, what is that? Did you see the one that I slayed the other day, Black Spy? Exactly. Exactly. That's why I'm doing this, because I didn't like my hair and the way it was growing out and stuff. So, and then I thought I can help other people. You got to watch it because everybody probably thought I was going to ruin it and everything else. I've got it down to an hour now. But because I edited it and stuff, you got to watch it. I slayed that wig. I slayed it. And I'm going to slay the next one tomorrow night. But yeah, if I was a woman and if, I lost my hair or something, you guys do not know, but I'd be wearing a wig all the time. I'd be doing the installs like I'm doing right now because I want to be able to look like me. You know what I mean? Oh, it was so beautiful. I wish it didn't happen to men or women. I was married to a man for 8 years that lost his hair when he was 27 years old. And we got him a toupee in about 2 years after we got together. And he got all of his confidence back and everything. And then something happened in the truck. He was working on his truck and it came down and it split it down the middle. And that toupee was like $700. They fixed it, but they never could fix it right. And we didn't want to pay another $700. So who are we talking about? Night Owl and SDA. What happened? SDA's talking about it. Wait, this is the part I'm talking about, Night Owl. Where did you find this out? Where did you find that at? Will you put that in the video, or would you put the link to it? Yes, it allows them to feel sexy and desirable. And there was one lady that came in here and she spoke for 2 hours while I was talking about the wigs. And then finally at the end, she said, I look in the mirror every day, Betty, and my hair is balding everywhere and I cry every day. And it took her 2 hours of me chatting about wigs and stuff before she even said anything to me. And I said, that's the reason I'm doing this. I'm doing this to help me and others. Yeah, but you know I like going down those rabbit holes. You know P Diddy, he's getting deactivated. It's all coming out what he did to Justin Bieber and what he did to Usher, what he did to Usher, what he did to Justin Bieber. That's why, you know, yes, helping someone in need. That's what I want. And to make sure the wigs are affordable and all the products that I use are affordable. That's what I'm trying to show. Right. Exactly. And it'll help you. It'll help you for if you need it. You can always go back to my videos and be like, oh, what did Betty do? Here's what Betty did. You know, because our hair is different. Our hair is different. All right. Hang on one second. I'll go to it this way. I'll click the thumbs up. I don't know. Could we play it? Could we play it? Night Owl, could we play it? Could we do a reaction on it? Hold on just a second. We might be able to do a reaction on it. Let me see. As long as it doesn't have like music and stuff that I have to blur out. All right, hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can play it while I'm fixing this wig.
Jimmy Page. The erudite and softly spoken Jimmy Page, the erudite and softly spoken lead guitarist of Led Zeppelin, once told a journalist, "I do not worship the devil, but magic does intrigue me, magic of all kinds. It wasn't for some years until I understood what it was all about." Page, a native to Hounslow, West London, shook the world of rock and roll unlike any other star before him. Broodingly handsome, witty, and with a quirky and exotic taste,
Wow.
Page was a peacock among pheasants. His circle was the most eccentric of the age of Aquarius, finger-snapping, hash-smoking, LSD-dropping dandies. Page's circle, however, had a darker side, a side entrenched in mystical Eastern esotericism and ancient magic.
But see, I believe this with
the
all.
occult.
Okay, so
Jimmy Page's peacocking.
Hold on one second. Because I have to talk through it anyway. But see, I believe this. This is with all. Remember, you have to sell. You have to sell. You know, your soul and stuff. And you know, people say it's a myth and stuff. No, it's not. It's not. And you also have to do bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? And then they keep that as blackmail, like straight up. They've been doing it for years, and that's what Jeff Todd was teaching everybody. You know, back in the 80s, he was teaching everybody. Yeah, you know. So, yeah, we're gonna do a thing on it. So
Connected him with many of the legends of rock and roll, from Eric Clapton to the Rolling Stones, both of whom he regularly jammed with as a session guitarist. Page eventually founded Led Zeppelin, the experimental evolution of his former band, the New Yardbirds. Zeppelin, in his own words, came together like magic. First, he found John Paul Jones, the bass guitarist, then Robert Plant, the lead singer, and finally John Bonham, the drummer. An unholy quaternity reflected by their personal symbols, 4 sigils. Admittedly, this was an unusual choice of logo for a band. At the time, sigils were little known outside of esoteric circles. A sigil is a symbol used in magic, often the pictorial signature of a demon or other spirit, today most frequently employed in chaos magic. They can be used for blessings, just as they could be used for curses. It's speculated that Page's foray into the occult may have had devastating consequences for him and for his bandmates. Over a curious sort of time, bad luck, accidents, sickness, and eventually several...
Okay, so I want to ask everybody who believes in magic, do you, if you believe that magic can be good, put a number 1 in the chat. If you believe that magic also can be bad, put a number 2 in the chat. If you believe in if you don't believe in magic at all, put a number 3 in the chat. I want to see where all of you are on this. I want to see what all of you think of this. Me, I believe in all magic, and I believe magic can be good, and I believe magic can be bad, depending on how you're using the magic.
Thus, would plague the band members and those close to them. This is known as the curse of Led Zeppelin. For this investigation,
Yes,
we'll take a
right.
closer look at the historical facts surrounding these events, and with all due respect for the victims involved, explore the detailed speculations of longtime Zeppelin fans as well as occult researchers. Some say that Jimmy Page sold his soul, the soul of Robert Plant, and the soul of John Bonham to the devil. To understand the curse of Led Zeppelin in its full mystery, we must go back long before the era of rock and roll, rewinding nearly 6 centuries to the infamous alchemist Johann Georg Faust. Welcome to Occult Mysteries. A pact with the devil, also known as a Faustian bargain, is a literary trope as old as time itself. Christian tradition tells that a contract with the devil is a transaction between Satan and a person. Satan delivers worldly goods, which the person exchanges for their soul. History abounds with tales of famed public figures said to have made pacts with the devil. The most famous of these tales is of Johann Georg Faust. The story of Faust begins with a dissatisfied scholar.
Now, you remember Dylan, when he said he made a pact, and he said, who was it? And then, or the interview guy said, who is it? And he said, here and below and after. And do you remember that? And he said, I'm still doing my part, because he's like 60 some, Bob Dylan, yeah, because he's like 60 some years old. And he was like, I'm doing my part as I'm supposed to, because, you know, it's here. And he's the king, or how did he say it? He's the king or something like that. He said, he's the king, I think he said, or something. Yeah, as above, so as below. But he said with him, the king. And then he said, well, who is him? And he said, he's here and down below. So above as below, yeah.
Who has exhausted all means of human study. In exchange for infinite knowledge and a boundless hedonistic lifestyle, he trades his soul. The story opens with Faust alone in his study, preparing a ritual to conjure a spirit. Therefore myself magic I give, he says. When the devil, Mephistopheles, is summoned and agrees to serve Faust, the scholar implores, how must I thy services repay? To which Mephistopheles responds, undersignest merely with a drop of blood, which means, in no uncertain terms, with his soul. Faust accepts. Alas, the deal ends in tragedy.
That's right.
The story is said to have been based upon the real-life German alchemist Johann Georg Faust, who supposedly died in a laboratory explosion after the devil came to collect his soul personally. The devil or Lucifer, which in Latin means morning star, was created as the anointed cherub, the most powerful of God's angels. According to the book of Ezekiel, Lucifer had musical instruments built into his very being, stating that, quote, "The workmanship of your timbrels and pipes was prepared for you on the day you were created."
He was over all the music
And thus,
in heaven.
Satan is thought to have been heaven's finest musician.
Yep.
It is because of this that there is an intrinsic, almost natural relationship between the Faustian bargain and music.
Yeah. That's why.
And many of you may already be aware that deals with the devil.
Because in between, that's why I say when people say that Lucifer is so ugly and things like that, Lucifer was made as the most beautiful angel, and had the musical powers over everything, and he just tried to outdo God, and that's when God cast him out of heaven, and then the angels that followed him also came down with him, you know. So yeah, I truly believe that, and I see it.
Are a common trope in nearly every musical genre. In the year 1713, famed Italian composer Giuseppe Tartini dreamt that the devil visited him and promised to serve him in exchange for his soul. In the dream, Tartini accepted, and out of curiosity presented the devil with his violin.
Yes, they did.
The great spirit began to play the most beautiful solo Tartini had ever heard. It left him breathless. When he awoke, Tartini frantically attempted to recreate the composition to the best of his recollection. This piece became the Devil's Trill Sonata, a composition noted for its incredibly difficult and technically complex double-stop trills, even though Tartini had only just taken up the violin 3 years prior. He went on to become one of the most influential violinists that ever lived. It is often speculated that Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin's most famous song and often regarded as the most popular rock song of all time, was a product of the devil.
Do you remember?
Besides the well-known theory that the song played backwards isn't.
Do you also remember whenever I found Hollydale? Do you remember that? When I found Hollydale? And how Somerset Belanoff, it was actually wrote for her. Highway to Heaven.
An audible ode to Satan. Robert Plant once said that the song came to him in a dream. And we must wonder, was it one similar to Tartini's? Wow. Dreams aside, we must now fast forward 2 centuries to the genre of music more notorious for Faustian bargains than any other, the blues.
I completely believe it.
Robert Johnson, who would be a significant influence on Led Zeppelin long after his death, began as a struggling blues musician from the Mississippi Delta, born around the turn of the 20th century. He is perhaps most known not for his music, but for his alleged deal with the devil. Johnson is said to have approached the crossroads late on an October's evening, while the moon was full, and sold his soul to the devil, who came to him in the form of a large black man. The devil took Johnson's guitar and tuned it, completing the deal. The crossroads has long been associated with the paranormal. In both European and African folklore, the crossroads are a meeting point where the eternal truth touches the passing world. Stories of the crossroads were very popular among the southern African American community in Johnson's time. In Africa, the crossroad legend goes back.
Let me check real quick, but I don't think so. How would I, let's see, how would I check on this? I don't remember ever blocking her. Let me check really quickly. While this is playing, I'll check.
As far as the Anansi people of West Africa. In Anansi tradition, the crossroads symbolized the making of decisions, spiritual communion, and the crossing of boundaries, both physical and metaphysical. Stories of the crossroads often do present a symbolic boundary. For example, in one version of Robert Johnson's Pact, the devil says to him, "If you take one more step in the direction you're heading, you are going to have the blues like never known to this world." Whether Johnson did sell his soul or not, we will never know. What we do know, however, is that prior to Johnson's supposed deal, he was considered by contemporaries to be an awful musician. He was said to have had no rhythm. He didn't have the blues. Johnson was murdered at the age of 27 by the jealous husband of one of his many girlfriends. A poisoned bottle of whiskey saw him crouched over, dead and bleeding from the mouth. What is perhaps most curious about Johnson's deal is not the Faustian bargain itself, as that's been seen hundreds of times, but rather the embodiment of the devil as a black man at the crossroads. In African esoteric religion, specifically Haitian voodoo, the guardian of the crossroads is Papa Legba. Legba serves as a gateway between the physical and spiritual worlds, providing a way for both to communicate with one another. Papa Legba is thought of as a trickster, but not a particularly evil or malevolent one, differing considerably from the Faustian concept of the crossroads devil. If we interpret the story of Robert Johnson through the lens of African religious folklore, then the dark figure Johnson meets is not a vile and despicable spirit, but rather a friend. In fact, folklorists have theorized that Johnson was a practitioner of voodoo, not Christianity. And this tells a very different scenario where Johnson did not visit the crossroads to sell his soul, but instead to ask his God for divine guidance and wisdom. The same outcome, however, might not translate to those who may have recreated his legendary actions with the wrong idea and intention. It may not be Papa Legba that they summoned. Whatever Johnson did on that fateful night, he lived and died a legend and inspired countless musicians after him, the members of Led Zeppelin included. We know for a fact that at least 2 of the band's songs were directly influenced by and arguably taken from Robert Johnson, specifically the Lemon Song and Trampled Underfoot. And in 1969, they covered his song Traveling Riverside Blues. Rock and roll music, as we know it today, emerged from the blues. Bands like the Rolling Stones were inspired by musicians such as Howlin' Wolf, Muddy Waters, and Robert Johnson. The Rolling Stones began playing blues music fused with rock and roll in England. The Stones would later cite Muddy Waters as their main source of inspiration. Waters' song, Rolling Stone, was where they got their name. Another artist who drew great inspiration from the blues was Jimi Hendrix. Hendrix claimed that Muddy Waters was the first guitarist he had ever heard, and that Waters' performance blew him away. His rock and roll attitude and onstage persona he borrowed from Chuck Berry. Hendrix's blues roots gave way to a successful, albeit tragically short, career as a psychedelic rocker until his sudden death at 27. Artists like the Beatles, Cream, the Yardbirds, and the New Yardbirds, which would later become Led Zeppelin, were also inspired by the blues.
That's another thing, like when the Beatles, when you go back and you look at their like albums and stuff, they have the upside down cross. Then they have all the baby parts everywhere. It's very demonic, when you go and look, Oh, were they? I didn't know that about the witches. She's unblocked now, honey. She was on my block list, but she's unblocked now.
In 1998, Jimmy Page and Robert Plant even journeyed to the Mississippi Delta to pay tribute at the tombstones of dead bluesmen.
They were occultists.
The supernatural has been with the blues for as long as the blues have been the blues.
Hey.
References to the devil are made in countless blues albums and singles. It is no surprise, then, that impressionable young British men, inspired by the great bluesmen of their generation, would also become interested in the supernatural. The birthplace of the blues is commonly thought to be Mississippi. To this day, you'll find large African American communities there who still hold their African roots close to their chests. It is from within these communities that we find the source of the supernatural elements of the blues. Many of the people there, while now largely Christian, were originally practitioners of voodoo, and much of their spirituality spilt over into the music that they wrote and produced. The supernatural influences on blues music fed into early rock and roll. As rock was becoming popular in England, there was a countercultural revolution taking place. The youth were growing out their hair, turning away from authority, and embracing freedom. Jimmy Page was one of these long-haired British teenagers shunning societal norms.
With the Charles Manson days and stuff like
The
that.
occult, for many young people at that time, including Page, was a polar opposite to the traditional Christianity that pervaded all sectors of British society.
Yeah.
While the blues profoundly influenced Page and his generation's interest in the occult, there, of course, were other sources of inspiration.
Yeah, do what thou wilt. That is
Aleister Crowley is a controversial figure, to say the least. He's also incredibly misunderstood. Many claim Crowley was a Satanist, though that suggests little understanding of the occult. Crowley was a magician, but not a devil worshipper, at least in the conventional sense. However, Crowley's magic was far from the play magic of David Blaine. His interests were not in illusions, but in unlocking dimensions, conversing with angels, and summoning demons. Crowley was a former member of the Golden Dawn Society.
Yeah, they actually have them on Temu, which is an app I'll send you. They have them for like $12 and stuff. And on Amazon, I think they're like $19. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't have any yet, but I know exactly what you're talking about. You just put it on, it already has the beanie attached to it, and then the hair, and then it's pretty much for like when you're on the go. Okay, and yeah, so I know exactly what you're talking about. They're about $12 on Temu and about $19, I believe, on Amazon. I believe it is. Yeah, he was in a few bands, but I can't remember all of them.
Group founded by Samuel Little McGregor Mathers toward the turn of the 20th century. The society was a secret one, akin to the Freemasons. The group claimed to have access to secret magical Egyptian knowledge. The Golden Dawn's intentions were not evil. In fact, the society wanted humanity to rise to higher levels of consciousness and awareness. They wanted the world to wake up. One member of the Golden Dawn was famed Irish poet William Butler Yeats. Another was Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, a medical doctor and author of Sherlock Holmes. Crowley was supposedly responsible for tearing the group apart through bitter infighting. Many of the Golden Dawn's leadership considered Crowley's form of magic to be self-centered and selfish, a sentiment he would later embrace with his "do what thou wilt" credo. After the Golden Dawn, Crowley founded his own secret society, Ora Templi Orientis, also known as OTO. The organization's religious headquarters was in Cefalu, Sicily. Crowley's life was spent in orgies and the consumption of copious amounts of drugs. Regardless, he never abandoned his commitment to esoteric magic and continued to mystify and allure his followers long after his death. In fact, he is said to have been the inspiration for L. Ron Hubbard's Scientology. Crowley was a well-cultured, educated, and clever man. He was also selfish, domineering, and cruel. It was his cruelty that, in the end, pushed people away from him. By the time of his death, Crowley had only a few followers. He died in a boarding house in Hastings, England. His last words, according to a friend, were, "Sometimes I hate myself." It was not Crowley's life that was particularly remarkable to the teenagers of the 1960s, with whom he became an icon, but rather his "do what thou wilt" credo. Musicians, beatniks, and rebels began to live according to this phrase. Ultimately, what Aleister Crowley and his teachings stood for was the rejection of society, self-gratification, and the pursuing of one's desires, however depraved and however abstract. It was this attitude that spurred the 60s countercultural revolution. Young people became emboldened, courageous, and were finally able to enjoy themselves through sex, drugs, and rock and roll. So the occult was fashionable, most certainly. But with all types of fashion, we find people who take them much more seriously than others. One such person was Jimmy Page, who came in a way to almost worship Crowley, going as far as to join his organization, OTO, where he has remained a member for nearly 50 years. Crowley's particular brand of magic was inspired by a spirit named Aiwass, who he channeled through his wife while in Cairo. Thus, the magic he promoted was supposedly of the ancient Egyptians, which we can see from his religious texts and writings, as they are abound with references to a mystic, secret form of Egyptian magic. This too was something embraced by Jimmy Page. In the Victoria and Albert Museum in London, one of Page's stage outfits is displayed. On it, we see the Eye of Horus enveloped in a pyramid. What is for one person a passing breeze is for...
I have to say this really, really quickly. This wax right here, look what it did to my wig. Look how beautiful it made my wig. Look at this. Look how beautiful. Look at this. Now my wig looks almost like hair. It did a beautiful job. I just have to say it did a beautiful. I can even take my fingers through it now. It did an absolute. This wax is amazing stuff right here. I just have to say. And also, Kay, once I get done doing all these other wigs that I got that I'm sponsored on, I'll ask them next time for one that has the cap, that has the beanie or the cap to it, and ask if I can review that as well. One of the companies, because I'm through four different companies. One of the companies are bound to have one.
Another, a tornado that consumes every part of them. For Jimmy Page, it appears that he was of the latter persuasion.
Well, yes, of course.
Page's life has been shrouded in mystery. He is an elusive and intriguing figure, and undoubtedly one of the greatest rock stars to ever walk on this earth. A rock star unlike any other.
Flex by.
Jimmy Page was born to James and Patricia Page in West London on the 9th of January, 1944. His father was a personnel manager at a plastic coating plant. His mother was a doctor's secretary. In 1952, Page's family moved to Epsom, Surrey, which is where Page first developed a love for music. His first guitar was a Spanish one, and he found it mysteriously in a cupboard in his home, as if by magic. He would later say, "I don't know whether the guitar was left behind by the people in the house before us, or whether it was a friend of the family's. Nobody seemed to know why it was there." Jimmy Page, to his credit, was largely self-taught. He attended very few guitar classes and mastered the instrument on his own. In 1957, he appeared on BBC One with a guitar he had bought with his savings. His first electric guitar he bought secondhand. From an early age, Page was a fan of the blues, citing Elmore James, B.B. King, Otis Rush, Freddie King, and Muddy Waters as his inspirations. Page's interest in the occult also began young. As a schoolboy of 15, he read Aleister Crowley's Magic in Theory and Practice. After coming across the book, he would later be quoted as saying, "Yes, that's it. My thing. I've found it." By the mid-1960s, Page had become an accomplished session guitarist and surrounded himself with groupies, hippies, and pot-smoking dropouts. The sex, drugs, and rock and roll, however, were not enough for the young Jimmy Page. After rising to fame in the Yardbirds, Jimmy founded a new quartet, Led Zeppelin. Zeppelin was quickly signed to Atlantic Records and managed by Peter Grant, who previously managed Chuck Berry and the Animals. Within a year, the band had gathered a cult-like following among rock fans in the United Kingdom, Europe, and United States. Fans immediately began to notice Page's fascination with the occult. In the few interviews he gave, he made frequent reference to the occult and his study of it. He once told a journalist that, "You cannot ignore evil if you study the supernatural as I do. I have many books on the subject, and I've also attended a number of seances. I want to go on studying it." And go on he did. Page is thought to have asked his bandmates, Robert Plant, John Bonham, and John Paul Jones, to perform a ritual with him that would cement Led Zeppelin's name in rock and roll history and set them up for life. The ritual, however, could not be spoken of. It would redefine their futures and that of Led Zeppelin. Among occultists, this type of magic is not taken lightly. It involves the conjuring of ancient spirits, the gods of men. These rituals, which would have been all too familiar to Aleister Crowley, should only be performed by experienced occultists and wizards, not half-stoned musicians, one practitioner would later claim. It is commonly thought that out of the quartet, the only member to refuse to participate in the ritual was John Paul Jones. The trouble started for Led Zeppelin soon after their rise to popularity, coinciding with the alleged ritual. First, Robert Plant was nearly killed in a serious car accident. Then, just 2 weeks later, his Aston Martin fell on top of him and crushed him, breaking his ribs. Perhaps this was an omen of the greater harm that was still to come. Perhaps the half-stoned rockers of Led Zeppelin were not as great magicians as they thought they were. Almost immediately, Led Zeppelin's fanbase began to swell to become an indomitable and unforgettable rock force still adored by millions to this day. And as Led Zeppelin's fame grew, so too did Jimmy Page's wealth and freedom to practice the occult without restraint, financially or otherwise. Page purchased Boleskine House on the shores of Loch Ness. It was the former home of his idol, Aleister Crowley, and a supposed location of a ritual said to have torn the fabric of our universe and allowed evil unlike any other to enter into it. Crowley's mentor, Samuel Liddell MacGregor Mathers, had translated the medieval occultist grimoire, The Book of Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage. His translation, albeit a poor one, was used by Crowley to perform a ritual to summon the 12 kings and dukes of hell. Now, Crowley seldom criticized himself, but even he admitted that his rituals at Boleskine House had gotten out of hand. After his housekeeper's 10-year-old daughter and 1-year-old son died suddenly and inexplicably, Crowley abandoned the property. He would later claim that a former employee of Boleskine House turned by the evil he saw there and attempted to murder his entire family. To this day, locals claim that evil spirits walk the grounds of Boleskine House, and it's easy to see why they might. In 1965, the new owner of the property, an Army major, took his own life with a shotgun. Friends of Jimmy Page and visitors to Boleskine House would claim that at dusk, as the sun disappeared, that the patio and gardens would become awash with shadows, phantoms, and specters, the residue of a century of ritual magic. Servants and maids came as quickly as they went, all agreeing that the home was pure evil. In 1992, after spending less than 3 months living there in his 22-year ownership, Jimmy Page sold Boleskine House, stating that bad vibes ran through it. In 2015, the most recent owners of Boleskine House returned from a trip to the grocery store and found the manor set ablaze. The property was empty at the time the fire started, and no explanation has ever been offered in its wake. The evil of Boleskine House did not begin with Aleister Crowley, however. The earliest mention of death on the property is from the 10th century. According to legend, a church once stood on the property's grounds, but, like Boleskine House, was set ablaze and burnt to the ground, trapping the entirety of its congregants inside. The cemetery, which sits at the foot of the hill Boleskine House stands on, has long been the site of cult rituals. A hidden tunnel linked the manor to the cemetery, supposedly to give the property owners quick access to the graveyard to prevent body snatching, which was, at the time, very common. But returning to Jimmy Page, his obsession with Aleister Crowley was not limited to just buying his one-time home. Page bought an esoteric bookstore, which was a namesake of Crowley's journal, The Equinox. Around the corner, Page purchased the infamous Tower House, a building long associated with...
Now, I have to stop this in between because it says we have to. But on this, Aleister Crowley or whatever, I heard that when it actually got damaged or whatever, that people were going and selling it on eBay, or the little pieces of it, like of the house or whatever, they were selling it on eBay so that they could get powers and stuff. Have anybody else ever heard of that? Did you guys ever hear of that stuff? That they thought that they would get powers out of it, and that something happened there every single night, because they had to do their, of the, their sacrificing type thing, and all the rituals and stuff. But somebody had burnt it down or something like that, and somebody was taking little pieces of like the stone of the house and stuff like that and selling it on eBay. And they literally were selling it and saying that they would get powers and stuff like that. And I was like, I was blown away that people were even buying it and stuff like that. But yeah, I researched that, and I was just like, wow, that is totally crazy. I wouldn't want to go anywhere near that place at all.
Paranormal activity. One of his girlfriends, Pamela DeBar, claimed that Page had her travel to San Francisco and Los Angeles to search for Crowley's lost artifacts. There, she was able to locate a number of manuscripts, pieces of magical apparatus, and Crowley's ritual robes. Page, of course, had his own robes. He often arrived on stage wearing custom-made, one-off costumes. Possibly the most notorious of these was Page's infamous dragon suit.
Oh, I want to share something with you guys right now. Soku Wigs, they just contacted me, and they said, I see you made the hairline perfect and the baby hair around. That's very professional. They're talking about when I did the wig the other night. Wow, that's a nice compliment from them. That was really nice. I just wanted to share that with you guys.
A black piece embroidered with his personal sigil, a full-length Chinese dragon, and astrological symbols. Experienced occult practitioners assert that Page's costume was indeed a magical robe used in onstage rituals. Page's fascination with Crowley spilled over into Led Zeppelin's album covers and artwork too. On Led Zeppelin 3, carved into the vinyl with a stylus.
SDA, what happened was one of the wig companies that I had bought the white wig from, and they sent me another wig. They sent me the blonde wig and the pink wig. They just got through saying, I see you made the hairline perfect and the baby hair around. That's very professional. So pretty much they were saying that I did a professional job on installing the wig the other night, and it just made me feel good to get that compliment from an actual wig company that now I work for. And wow, it just kind of made me feel good. I know, right? It was just like, really, I mean, these people, they actually, are in business with wigs, so they have seen so many people slay wigs and stuff, and to get that compliment and stuff is, it feels amazing to me.
We find the inscription, "So mote it be," on one side, and on the other, "Do what thou wilt." "Do what thou wilt" is a core article of faith in Crowley's Thelemite belief system and powerful magical incantations. The infamous magician and friend of Page, William S. Burroughs, believes strongly in the power of electrical magic, the idea of harnessing electricity to perform occult rituals. So a Thelemite magical incantation spinning on millions of turntables across the world at the same time would make for a good example of this. The other phrase, "So mote it be," originated among the Freemasons. In English, it is customary to end a prayer with the word "Amen," which is a Latin word meaning "so be it." The word mote in English is an archaic verb that means might or may. "So mote it be" then means "so may it be." In Freemasonry, every ceremony ends with these words, which is likely where Jimmy Page took it from. However, there is a more interesting theory. In the Arabic language, mote or al-mote means death. "So mote it be" could, in theory, mean "so death it be." When we consider Page's fascination with Eastern esotericism and ancient Egypt, the theory holds some weight. By Led Zeppelin 4, the occult symbolism became painstakingly obvious, as if Page no longer made any attempts at hiding it. On the inside of the album's cover was a painting of the Hermit, a tarot card symbol. And from left to right on the inner sleeve were 4 sigils, representing Page, Jones, Bonham, and Plant, respectively. Most of these sigils can be traced to Rudolf Koch's 1955 Book of Science, a work featuring a collection of ancient magical and alchemical symbols from across the world. Robert Plant's sigil is said to be the Feather of Truth, a representation of the Egyptian goddess Mayat. John Bonham's was the least occult-like, a simple drum kit. John Paul Jones' sigil was a Celtic symbol, co-opted by Christianity to represent the Trinity among the Britons. Page's personal sigil, an inscription that reads Zoso, is harder to pin down, however. Some say it originated in the famed black magic grimoire Le Dragon Rouge, an arcane text which contains detailed instructions for making a pact with the devil. Page has publicly claimed that he will never tell anybody what the sigils mean, not least his own. This is interesting in and of itself, as occultists and chaos magicians ascertain that a powerful sigil must not be spoken of after the spell is cast, or the spell will backfire. Page purportedly once revealed the meaning of the sigils in a quiet moment to an intoxicated Plant. Plant would later say, "I was wasted at the time, and by the next morning, I had forgotten. I asked him the next day to tell me again, and he said he couldn't, or wouldn't." The band members themselves were not the only ones to receive their own personal sigils, however. Sandy Denny, a frequent collaborator, even got her own, perhaps to her detriment. Denny would, sadly, become one of the first victims of the alleged curse of Led Zeppelin. In 1976, she suffered a dramatic downward spiral of mental illness and began throwing herself off of flights of stairs. In 1978, Denny was found at the foot of a staircase in her home, having fallen into a coma from which she would never awake.
Wow. But see, okay, like hang on 1 second. When you say amen, doesn't amen say mean so it shall be? Isn't that what amen means? Or so it shall be done, or so it shall be, or so it shall be done? Isn't that what that means? Something like that? Or am I off on that? I thought that's what I mean. Amen. When you say amen, so it shall be, or it shall be done. It shall be done. I think it's it shall be done.
The underground filmmaker, drug taker, and freak, Kenneth Anger, first met Jimmy Page at an auction for some of Aleister Crowley's collectibles. Page outbid Anger. The two became close shortly after, and Anger commissioned Page to compose the soundtrack for his latest project, Lucifer Rising. Fair warning to all of you watching, the film Lucifer Rising is believed by occultists to be a form of electric magic, similar to the vinyl etchings on Led Zeppelin 3 mentioned earlier. The entire film is likely a ritual in and of itself. In theory, by watching the film, you participate in the ritual and sacrifice your own energy. So for that reason, I won't show footage from the actual film here, only stills. Lucifer Rising had, at that point, already been a chaotic production. The film's 7-year development had already gone awry after its lead actor, Bobby Beausoleil, a member of the Manson family, had abruptly quit. Beausoleil stole rough cuts and cameras from the studio, and to take his revenge, Kenneth Anger constructed a magic talisman, on which one side there was a likeness of Beausoleil, and on the other, a toad. Beausoleil would end up in prison for life within a year of the curse. Jimmy Page happily agreed to perform the soundtrack for Lucifer Rising. Time would tell, however, that Anger could not work with Page, as he found the rock star's drug addictions impossible to accommodate. After multiple delays, Page only delivered 20 minutes of music out of the 40 that Anger had paid for. Anger was infuriated, and equally, Page became annoyed with Anger's demands to complete the job. The project degenerated. Page pulled out, and he evicted Anger from Boleskine House, where he had allowed the filmmaker to live rent-free. In response, Anger flamed in the media, and publicly placed a curse on Jimmy Page and his band. This curse, many claim, marked the beginning of the end for Led Zeppelin. While Led Zeppelin had already experienced its fair share of tragedy, the real problems only began after Anger's supposed curse. Mere months later, Robert Plant was nearly killed in a second, albeit more serious car crash, where he drove off of a cliff in Greece.
Really good.
The accident nearly claimed his life and that of his wife and his child. Plant was wheelchair-bound for several performances afterwards. Then, as soon as he recovered and prepared to tour, he was struck with serious laryngitis, leaving him unable to sing. Plant's laryngitis caused the band to cancel the tour that was set to be Led Zeppelin's biggest tour ever, with tickets selling out at a rate of 72,000 per day. This shocking cancellation was a catalyst for a riot in Cincinnati, where disgruntled and scorned fans stormed the planned venue. Oddly, the scene of the Cincinnati riot would later become the scene of 11 deaths after The Who's notorious trampling incident just 2 years later. When the tour eventually kicked off an entire month late, there were major problems backstage. A promoter's staff assaulted the band manager Peter Grant's 11-year-old son for taking a dressing room sign. John Bonham saw this and kicked the man away from the child. Later, he informed Grant and 2 of the band's road crew of what happened, and they attacked the man in retaliation.
Come on.
All 4 of them were arrested on serious assault. In fact, they nearly found themselves sentenced to prison.
Out.
Only a short while after, Robert Plant received a phone call from his wife, informing him that their 5-year-old son, Karek, had suddenly fallen ill. 2 hours later, she called back. Karek had died. The band immediately canceled the remainder of the tour. This absolute tragedy spiraled Plant and the rest of the band into their darkest days. Plant withdrew from the public eye completely and returned to his family and farm in the West Midlands of England. While all of these events were taking place, Jimmy Page was battling an intense heroin and cocaine addiction that saw him comatose from drugs on an almost daily basis. Meanwhile, John Bonham was becoming a volatile alcoholic and grew more unpredictable by the day. The events surrounding Bonham would unfortunately prove to be the undoing of Led Zeppelin. In 1980, after a day of extremely heavy drinking, he was sent home from a band rehearsal to Page's Windsor home. A friend tucked him into bed, assuming that he would sleep it off. He died in his sleep. After Bonham died, Led Zeppelin was over. They released a statement. "We want it to be known that the loss of our dear friend and the deep respect we have for his family, together with the feeling of undivided harmony that we and our manager feel, have led us to decide that we can't continue as we were." Rather than replace their drummer and their friend, Led Zeppelin chose to disband and would never release new music again. The curse of Led Zeppelin is tragic, though no less compelling than the many mysteries that shroud the history of rock and roll. One aspect of the curse that critics often pick up on is that Jimmy Page, the alleged figurehead of the ritual and the person who was the recipient of Anger's supposed curse, escaped relatively unharmed. A counter to that, and one that is often overlooked, is that Page, though alive and well, has not been able to write a popular song or achieve commercial success in nearly 40 years. It's almost as if the magic just one day stopped. What do you make of the events surrounding Led Zeppelin? Do you believe Jimmy Page made a pact with the devil? Or did Kenneth Anger seal their fate? Leave your speculations in the comments below. Anger once said on the subject of the curse that "they had so many servants, yet they would never offer me a cup of tea or a sandwich." Which is such a mistake on their part, because I put the curse of King Midas on them. If you're greedy and just amass gold, you'll get an illness. So I did turn her and Jimmy Page into statues of gold because they've both lost their minds. He can't write songs anymore. I'm Mr. Mythos. Thank you for watching.
That was actually really good. That was actually really good. And there's a lot. And have you seen what's been going on with Pete Diddy or with P Diddy and I guess with Cassie, and now they're saying that Justin Bieber is doing a lawsuit for essaying him. And then Usher, Usher was, essayed by him. And then Usher took Justin Bieber under his wing and had the same thing done to him. Why would he do that? Why would he do that? And I knew a long time ago, I talked about this a long time ago of how it was going to be doing. And I'm telling you right now that all hell is getting ready to break loose. And even though Cassie settled out of court, they're all coming out. And Justin even blames P. Diddy for why he's on drugs, that P. Diddy was the first one to get him on drugs, why he's been in so much trouble, why he can't handle life anymore, and stuff like that is because of what he did to him at 15 years old. It's getting bad. It's getting real bad. And, there's always a date that you begin this and you sell your soul. And there's always an expiration date as well. And Clive Davis just got through. Yes, it's monetized. Just got through stating that he was bi. And Clive Davis was P. Diddy's first person. Thank you. I just put wax on it and started making it look real. and now we got it looking real. And but yeah, they said that Cassie just wanted money and she went through hell and stuff. But guess what? Yeah, Justin sleeping in his bed, and then there's a photo or a video of him spending 48 hours with him for no reason at age 15. Him saying, I'll give you this, you can drive this Lamborghini. Oh, and I'm going to give you the mansion. If that's not grooming, I don't know what is. And they can't say that Justin wants money because Justin's almost a billionaire. So I told people that SDA knows. I talked about these industry people a long time ago and what you got to do and what you don't got to do to get in. And P Diddy really effed Bieber up for life. For life. Like, it's bad. They're coming out the woodwork, and I wish they would have came out a long time ago, but it is what it is. They're also looking at him over Kim Porter, allegedly, her death, Tupac, Biggie, and a bunch of others. So, yeah. Yeah, you know he's shitting and a getting right now for sure. You know that that's going on. But, yeah. So then Usher was sent to him at 10 years old, 13 years old, 10 or 13, sent to P Diddy's called Puffy's camp. Why? And lived with him for a whole year. Oh yeah, yeah. Whenever he said, I woke me and Usher, or he said Usher and I used to wake up in bed together, and we would fight. And then he stopped because Kevin Hart was standing there, and Usher's went like this, and he's like, and we would fight over frosted flakes. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's all coming out now. Mm-hmm. It's all coming out now. And we're talking, it's not just that he's liquidating his assets and stuff, but remember, when you sell your soul and somebody's done with you, which is Clive Davis, he's done with him, allows all this to happen, just like what happened with Bill Cosby, just like what happened with uh, uh, he's on the tip of my tongue, R. Kelly, all of them. All of them. And now all the secrets are coming out of Hollywood. Yep. Yep. Mm-hmm. Just like that one girl saying that she went to go to a party, and whenever she got to the door, they wanted to prick her finger for blood. Yeah, imagine going to a party. And she was like, I've never been to a party where, no. And she left in the Uber, and all of her friends went in, and she left. She said, nah, I ain't getting my finger pricked. This is weird. And then Justin or Usher talking about how they walked in and there was like 16 men all together, and the whole room, and they were naked, and the whole room smelled like ass, like real ass, Yeah. I see you right now. Maybe maybe it's the way you're saying stuff. So as of right now, P Diddy is being deactivated, and you mark my words, they're all going to tell on him. And he can't pay them all off. And when Bieber came out saying that he was the reason, that he's the one that got him on Suboxone, he's the one that gave him Molly, he's the one that gave him all the drugs. Well, why did he give him all the drugs? Even on TikTok, there's a TikTok going around. They were in a club, and Bieber was down there doing you know what, and somebody said something, and he looked up, and he looks all confused. Bieber does. He looks all confused and got slobber all over his face. Shit's real. Stay out. Stay out. Yeah. Yeah. Only takes one. But like, this is, I've been saying this for years and years and years. This is what they do. They get these young kids. That's why I didn't want my kid. When Atlantic Records was like, yeah, we want to sign it. No, you don't. No. And the thing that I don't understand about Usher is Usher had it done to him, but did not protect Justin. Matter of fact, had it done to him. So it's just really effing strange about all of it. Like, actually, I want to wake it up a little bit and show you guys something. It's just really effing just. It actually pisses me off. These were kids. Why their parents allowed this, I have no idea. You know what I mean? Like, freaking weirdo. I mean, why didn't Usher protect Justin by knowing what he had done to him and how he was at his house? I'll show you what's going on. If you guys aren't in the news of it, we'll go over it. We'll react to it because it's like bullshit, to be honest with you. All right, so here it is right here. We're gonna react to this. We're gonna review it. Before we review it, I'm gonna put up my trigger warning here. It actually hides a bunch of the words, but still, viewer discretion is advised. This channel does not promote or encourage any illegal activities. All contents provided by this channel is meant for educational purpose only. We're also putting up our fair use. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 USC 107. And he's pretty much broken, like he's broken.
There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything. And it was just an escape from.
Then when you get 18, you get the house, you get the mansion.
Yeah, that's how he got him.
Yeah.
Diddy's secret is out again, and this time around, we're looking at what he did to Usher and Justin Bieber. Now, we all know he mentored Usher and all, but what if we told you that Diddy was also probably abusing not just Usher, but also 15-year-old Justin Bieber? Ready to find out more about Diddy's dirty secrets? Then welcome to Gay Bible, and let's get started. Before we go into details, y'all need to keep this in mind first.
48 hours. Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, where we now and what we doing, we can really disclose.
Okay, for us, because we're coming right back to it. Now, it would interest you all to know that Diddy took Justin Bieber under his care for 48 hours about 14 years ago, when the superstar was just a teenager. Now, we all know Diddy's history with teenage boys. I mean, remember what happened to Usher?
There to see the lifestyle,
Right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
Well, it seems like Diddy might have repeated history with Justin Bieber. I mean, first off, Diddy is not to be trusted with young boys due to the past allegations against him from the FBI. But recently, a clip surfaced, and we can't help but feel like Diddy might have done some wrong things to poor young Justin. So first, he gets to spend 48 hours with a powerful and famous celebrity, and that's where the whole thing gets tricky.
I am too.
We all knew what Usher faced when he hung out with older celebrities as a teenager.
I mean, think about this. Usher found him on YouTube, and then it had already been done to Usher from age 10 on. And then Usher takes him straight to P Diddy, a 40-year-old man with a 15-year-old boy. For what? For what? No, Victoria, you're not coming in right now. You just pooped on my rug. You're in trouble.
May have been fun, but definitely not the kind of fun a child at that age should be exposed to. Back to the gist. Diddy took Justin to a Ferrari that had been packed in the garage and told him he could let him ride it as soon as he turned 16. Now, Justin was only 15 at the time. He tries getting ahead of himself, but Diddy tells him to slow down.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let you rock this every time you yeah, this will be yours. So every time you come down, it's a little dusty, but you know, only the front shot is.
Man.
Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah. When you get 16, you come down. You gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
16.
You're not ready.
16.
Slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down. Okay.
See, it's really, really weird, you know, because that's what you call grooming. Grooming. Yes, you got it. You got Kate. You're on it. What 15-year-old boy is not going to be like, I want to drive a Lamborghini? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're seeing it now. Now, this was all videotaped with the 48 hours that he spent with P Diddy for nobody knows why. He didn't have custody of him, but he had to spend 48 hours with him. Then you're going to see how he reacts to him after the 48 hours. You're going to see. See, that's why you've seen Selena and Justin in the middle of downtown California, in the middle of where all the nastiness is going on, buying drugs and going into the old bathrooms and doing them, is because of all of this. This is why they were going downtown and people were video recording them and stuff, because they were like, hey, Bieber, you know, hey, Selena. But they were actually down there to buy drugs and go in the nasty bathrooms to do them, just to make all of this go away. All of it. Give me 1 second. Get in your gel. Get in your gel. Right now. In your gel. In here. Victoria, right now. You're not going to have rain in the house. No, you're not having rain in the house. I just let you out a while ago and you pooped on my carpet, and that's not happening. You stay right there until I'm done. You can be in your prison till you stop. She gets mad at me while I'm, you know, while I'm on, you know, recording, or while I'm on here. She gets mad and she'll go out there and she'll poop on my rug, and then she gets put in timeout. But anyways, this is grooming 101. Okay. Now, not only does he promise this to him, but he also promises his mansion to him. His mansion.
One step at a time.
But yeah.
Now, Diddy didn't just stop at giving Justin the Ferrari. Guess what he did next, guys? He offered Justin the mansion and told him he could have it when he turned 18.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion.
Yeah.
Now, this sounds like a wild dream for a kid, don't you think? I mean, first, Diddy promises Justin a Ferrari by 16. And next, he also promises Justin the mansion when he's just 18. So what could have been?
Promises Justin a mansion when he's 18 years old. Now, think about these two major extravagant gifts by a major, at the time, a major, you know, star. And he's 15. 15. Okay? 15. Oh, yes. And they're saying that Justin came out with a lawsuit against him for it, saying that he groomed him and essayed him. Yeah. And I'm showing you the proof of it right now. And that he was there when Cassie was there, and that he saw things happen to Cassie. At 15.
Diddy's motive for giving Justin these exorbitant gifts? We know Justin was a superstar kid and all. Still, given Diddy's history, we cannot help but think that perhaps he gave Justin these gifts just to lure him into certain activities that aren't proper for him to be engaged in. Not that there's anything wrong in giving him these things, but some parental guidance could have been instrumental here. Who knows? Anyways, Justin was very excited at the offer, and he obviously couldn't say no. I mean, who would? But Diddy said something that we cannot overlook. Now, back to the clip that you saw earlier that we asked you to keep in mind.
Like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose.
Please, who can tell us what Diddy could possibly want to do with young Justin that he couldn't mention in front of the camera? Thanks to his obvious body language, Diddy acted suspicious and Justin looked clueless. Could there be something that Diddy was gonna do that he didn't want anyone to know about? Well, we already knew what he did with Usher. The young and innocent Usher was exposed to explicit activities carried out by other celebrities under Diddy's watch. And not just that, he and Diddy even shared a bed. Man, this is really disturbing. Could that be what he wanted to do with young Justin as well? Expose him to things improper for his age. I mean, Diddy even confessed he didn't have legal custody over Justin as he had with Usher, so he had no right to expose Justin the way he did. The ultimate proof that Justin was influenced negatively is his confession of his struggles with addiction and breaking the law. The superstar opened up in his docuseries that he was using drugs early in his career and couldn't do without them.
There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything. And it was just an escape.
I mean, doesn't that sound like Diddy's influence? We can connect these dots because Justin was signed to Usher when he started his music career. After performing for Usher at the studio, it didn't take long for Usher to sign him, giving Diddy access to Justin because Usher was mentored and groomed by Diddy. As we clearly saw, it didn't go well for Justin. According to him, he said he wanted to have a sustainable heart and career. He also told fans that he didn't want to fall apart as he needed to fix some deep-rooted issues in his life. And thanks to his wife, Haley, and other people around him, he had all the support he needed to fight off the bad influence from his teenage years and get clean. Unfortunately, Diddy's got a long history of sexual scandals, and it doesn't just end with his alleged abuse of underage boys. Aside from the FBI's investigation, which took place some time ago, Diddy is also known to sexually abuse other celebrities just to show him he's more powerful than them. Christopher Williams was one of the victims of his abuse, and thanks to the attorney who exposed him, we wouldn't have known about it. I mean, Jaguar Wright is notorious for calling people out in the industry and talking about their dirty secrets. And to be honest, we could have overlooked her accusations against Diddy about how the lawyer caught Chris giving him a blow and how Diddy threatened her not to tell anyone about what she saw. But with all this evidence glaring at us, we can't help but believe that Diddy may not just be gay, but perhaps he's also a sexual assaulter. There's just too much going around for us to ignore. Even some of his colleagues have accused him of being gay. A good example is 50 Cent, who insinuated that Diddy's gay during an interview at the Breakfast Club.
He said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Knighty's wedding. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Let me move, man. Before I do something, you're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice.
Now, see, everybody knows that 50 Cent has been going at Diddy, for the last few years now, on Instagram and stuff like that, going back, through everything. Well, the other day, whenever Cassie came out, he put down lyrics of a song and it says, all the rest of them are coming. 5, 3, 2, 1. And 50 Cent then wrote and said, let me buy your business while it's cheap or while you can still sell it and it's worth something right now. And then Rebel TV took him off as the main person, so he doesn't have that no more. Also, the stars refused to set with him, even though most of them are involved in this and involved in the trafficking as well, allegedly. But we're talking about Jay-Z and the rest of them, allegedly. But however, they're now throwing a fit saying that they don't want to sit with him at the Oscars. And so the Oscars are in an uproar right now because nobody wants to sit with Diddy because Diddy has been casted out. You know, exactly. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. They either emancipate, they tell them to emancipate from your parents, and then, you pretty much own yourself and you can go wherever, or that they buy lavish gifts and have the parents just to go through with it and be like, oh, it's okay. Just like I talked about at Model Search America, they were giving the parents $5,000 and then telling them they were taking their daughter to New York and that they wouldn't be able to talk to them, see them, or anything because it would interfere with their modeling. I watched it with my own eyes. I tried to talk to some of the parents. They looked at me like I was crazy. I said, did you just get a $5,000 check? Yeah. I said, did they tell you can't talk to your daughter? You can't see your daughter? You can't visit her? That she's going to be living in New York? Yeah. Well, you just sold your daughter for $5,000. No, I didn't. Okay. Well, 2 years later, after I'd contacted the FBI when I got home, 2 years later, they arrested John Casablanca. And guess what? 2 15-year-olds were pregnant, and he married the one when she was 17. But the motherfucker died in prison. He died 2 years after being convicted and put in prison. And none of those parents would listen to me. None of them. They didn't care.
Nice gesture.
Let me get out. No, take me. That's still what a guy says to a girl.
Now, 50 Cent may have exaggerated in the clip, but we all know that Diddy shops for butt plugs. I mean, it's not enough to conclude, but we believe these dots are actually worth connecting. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, who was also really close to him, opened up about Diddy shopping for butt plugs.
As he going, I'm just looking at the places where he picking stuff from. So there's one part he picked up some things from up here on my left side. And then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there and it said butt plugs. And I was like, hey, yo.
Now, all these things seem inconsequential, but they just might point us to the truth behind all these allegations. But guys, let's consider this. If we look closely at Usher's life and how he ended up, it is safe to conclude that Diddy was indeed a bad influence on him. I mean, look at the fact that Usher was actually guilty on purpose.
And the male accuser, although he has not identified himself, has alleged the circumstances surrounding what he says is exposure to genital herpes by Usher.
The two of them obviously had some form of sexual contact, which makes us believe
But
that.
see, the parents, this is what I noticed at Model Search America. The parents did not care. They got the $5,000. Their kid was going to be famous, and they didn't care. They didn't care if they couldn't talk to them on the phone. They didn't care if they couldn't go visit them. They're 13 to 15 years old, and they did not care. They did not care. I'm telling you, they did not care. They looked at me like I was crazy when I was trying to tell them, and they did not care. They did not care. Some parents do not care. It's the money and the fame.
That Usher might be gay, just like his mentor, who probably is also gay. And it is possible that if Usher wasn't exposed to the lifestyle he lived while he was a young and naive teenager, he'd probably have a different lifestyle choice and would have ended up infecting another person with herpes. That same thread follows through with Justin Bieber, as we saw how he lived an unseemly lifestyle by doing drugs and even getting entangled with different women until he changed his ways and started working on himself to be a better person. Everyone clearly saw the patterns, and the only person we have in mind to blame for it all is none other than Diddy. Maybe we're wrong, but Usher and Justin are the two known teenagers Diddy mentored that didn't have their lives go exactly well as they grew older. And though one managed to set things straight later on, the other faced public embarrassment after the news of him infecting
Just
another
like I
man
want you
went
guys to
viral.
do something after this. Whenever we get done with this, I want you to go back and I want you to look at the video called Yummy, the song called Yummy. At the end of the video, you will see it's only Justin, and then there's one old man behind him, and then it'll have a plate with a cake on it, and then the cake disappears, and then it's a picture of Justin as a young 15-year-old boy, and it says yummy. He was trying to tell you all back then that he was a piece of cake. He was their dessert. He was their cake. He was trying to tell you all. And that's the song Yummy.
So as long as it's on the record that Diddy mentored Usher and even had custody of Justin briefly, he definitely has to answer some questions. And aside from all these, Diddy's also believed to have murdered several artists in the industry who probably would have been alive and thriving today had he not gotten in their way. The claims that Diddy was behind the death of Tupac and Biggie are still strong even today, as many people believe without a doubt that he had
Now we're going to go to another one, which is Clive Davis. Okay. Clive Davis was the one that was, he just came out not too long ago admitting, and he's been in relationships with men now, but admitting he was his mentor. He was his mentor. He was P Diddy's mentor and another guy's mentor. There was two different ones. Clive Davis is the one that made Bad Boy Records into Diddy's name overnight and made it into a label overnight. Now, this was 10 years ago, and this was 8 months ago, and this is Diddy revealing this stuff 9 months ago.
But he got a boss too, and his boss name is Clive Davis. Clive run him. Diddy don't run himself. But you know,
P Diddy, known as Puff Daddy, known as Sean Combs. Allegedly in 1994, Sean Combs requested doing sexual favors for Clive Davis so that Bad Boy Records could be what it is.
So there's one point he picked up some things from up here on my left side, and then he picked like quite a few of them down. I'm like, okay. He put them in the bag. So when I went by there and I looked up there, and it said butt plugs.
From secret relationships to wild explicit parties, Hollywood is without a doubt the home of dirty secrets and bizarre scandals. But even with all that, the music industry seems to be the worst of the bunch, as the scandals that pop out there are unending. And now, industry legend and record producer Clive Davis has been caught up in quite the mix. While it started out as just rumors, the cat's finally out of the bag about how Clive has dated Diddy for over 5 years. Diddy is widely recognized as one of the most accomplished record producers and label owners in the music industry, having established Bad Boy Records, which has been home to high-profile artists such as the notorious Big and Usher. However, there is a curious question about how his company achieved such rapid success. The musician Jaguar Wright is discussing Diddy's influence on the music industry and his considerable wealth.
Puff be moving niggas around, you know?
Nor the car.
But he got that catalog.
He got his own.
He got that catalog, and he's been making money off of it. And it bought that big old mansion down the street from Rape Central.
What was the path that led a 23-year-old rising star to the pinnacle of the music industry in such a short period? Perhaps the answer lies in his close association with a heavyweight figure, Clive Davis. Although Clive Davis has gained fame for his music productions, he is currently the subject of discussions regarding his romantic pursuits. Following 2 marriages and subsequent divorces, Clive embarked on a journey of self-exploration to determine if he could be attracted to men as well.
I opened up myself after the failure of my second marriage, never having had anything with a man, to see, could I be attracted to the person and not the gender?
As a result of this introspection, Clive came to the realization that his sexual orientation was not entirely heterosexual, contrary to what he had believed for the first 50 years of his life.
And I did find that I could be attracted to a man while I still am very attracted to a woman.
Following this revelation, Clive made the decision to pursue a relationship with a man, feeling that this was the appropriate time in his life to do so.
Then, in 1990, he entered into a monogamous relationship with an unnamed male doctor. That relationship ended in 2004.
Clive says he has never been ashamed to admit his attraction to men. I never felt shame. No, I felt puzzled. The subject of bisexuality really needs much more discussion. It's a status that does exist. Subsequently, Clive entered into a committed relationship with another man, which continues to this day. After years of confusion, it has now been confirmed that the identity of Clive's partner is none other than Diddy.
P Diddy, known as Puff Daddy, known as Sean Combs. Allegedly in 1994, Sean Combs requested doing sexual favors for Clive Davis so that Bad Boy Records could be what it is.
Rumors surrounding the circumstances of Diddy's music career have persisted for years. However, it is now evident that the two were romantically involved for a period of 5 years. While Clive has acknowledged that his partner accompanies him to events and travels with him, he has declined to disclose his name. Nevertheless, it has become increasingly apparent that Diddy is the artist most frequently seen by Clive's side at events. Merely attending the same events may not be definitive proof, but the fact that both Clive and Diddy are openly gay and frequently seen together at social gatherings strongly suggests that there is a significant connection between them. The close bond between Diddy and Clive has been well established over the years. During this time, Clive has been in a committed relationship with a man, while Diddy has faced accusations of being closeted. Given these circumstances, the possibility of a romantic connection between the two is quite plausible. Furthermore, Clive has been open about his sexuality and relationships, yet he has never denied these rumors, further strengthening their validity. Diddy has remained silent on the matter as well. Diddy crossed paths with Clive when he was a 23-year-old aspiring artist looking to break into the cutthroat music industry. However, his hip-hop concepts managed to impress the legendary Clive, who was searching for a performer who could truly connect with the public. Clive has spoken about their initial encounter, stating that he found precisely what he was seeking in Diddy. Puffy was 23 years old and I knew the artists that I had. Aretha, Dion, Whitney was one kind of music. Davis says, Leadface ushered in blue-collared R&B at its height. But sensing the hip-hop revolution, both Leigh and I agreed that we could use someone really in tune to the street. You gotta know what you can do for yourself, and you gotta know when you need to look to other people. During that period, Diddy was employed under Andre Hall at Uptown Records. However, meeting Clive Davis proved to be a pivotal moment in his career, as he was able to make a lasting impression on the music mogul with his words, as Clive himself recounts. When I met with Puffy, he articulated that hip-hop should be part of the top 40 mainstream, and that the business would change.
It's also called a humiliation ritual, and they have to be, all of them. Even if they don't want to be, they have to be. Yeah, exactly. And as you looked at him, he was one of those fake, people that we talk about all the time. Those ones that lion Jews, I call them lion Jews, and rich and powerful, and they have everything. So what else do they want? What they can't have? You know what I'm saying? What else they want? What they can't have, Yeah, try anything. Yes, I knew exactly what you were saying, but yeah, the facts are all right there in front of everybody's eyes. They just got to start opening them up a little bit and listening with their ears. Open their eyes so they can see, and listen with their ears so they can hear.
In the future. And I said, what have you got to illustrate that point? And he played me Craig Mack's Slava in Your Ear, and he played me the then unknown artist that he felt and believed so strongly. He played me 4 or 5 cuts from Notorious B.I.G. Diddy's words were compelling enough to persuade Clive, who promptly informed him that he had effectively conveyed his vision. I said, okay, you proved your point. That's when I introduced him to the weekly, what we called singles meetings. I introduced him to an executive there as someone who would help lead us to the street and share in the forthcoming hip-hop revolution. While Diddy's swift rise to stardom may appear to have been the result of a straightforward exchange with Clive, the reality is far from what Clive has presented over the years. As it turns out, this encounter served as a facade for Clive's pursuit of sexual relationships with men, and Diddy was not the only person he engaged in such behavior with. It has been demonstrated that Clive has engaged with promising young artists, making assurances of a prosperous career in the music industry before getting romantically involved with them. Diddy appears to have avoided being cast aside after his relationship with Clive, as Clive provided him with assistance in launching his own record label, Bad Boy Records, and continued to support it for a number of years. Although Clive has been candid about his sexuality, Diddy has not addressed the matter himself. However, there have been indications to the contrary.
Right.
It is, in fact,
Exactly.
widely recognized that Diddy is gay, as he has been observed engaging in behavior that suggests it. P Diddy, a notorious gangster who frequents celebrity circles, once caught Diddy engaging in suspicious behavior with another man at a party.
Puff and Tupac was like a couple, seemed like to me. It was just a lot of weird shit going on, you know what I'm saying?
Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal had several stories about
the
Diddy's
thing, though, you
behavior
know?
indicating his sexuality.
This is the
On
thing,
one
though. Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it actually be nice if finally all of this gets out in the open, all these people actually go, you know, to jail, all these bad players, and that good players come in, and actually if they do sign a kid, it's because of their talent, and they leave them the heck alone, and they let them do their job, and they just stop with all of that, you know, because that's what it is, Kate. It's the blackmail, you know, it's all of that, you know, to keep them, to keep control over them, you know. There's so much, and yeah, you're right, you're correct on that too, Night Owl. So that's what I'm saying. But everything here we're learning educational wise, and you know, it's all alleged. We don't know for sure. The only thing we do know is that he's came out that, you know, his orientation is for men rather than for women, you know, and that kind of stuff. And we did see with our own eyes techniques of actual grooming that was done to Justin. But Justin is not the only one. We're talking all of them. We're talking all the kids, all of them. All of them. Everybody who makes it into the big industry, all of them. All of them. So this is all alleged. We are doing this for entertainment purposes only. And we don't know the whole truth, or we may never know the whole truth. But this is what's coming out now.
On occasion, Gene witnessed Diddy and another rapper exiting a room wearing only towels.
Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbing his towel, but they butt the naked.
It's clear that Diddy wasn't particularly worried about Gene knowing his true sexuality. Even after his ex-wife, Kim Porter, passed away, the former bodyguard revealed that while they were married, Diddy had already been getting with whichever man or woman he wanted. Diddy has shown interest in other male rappers and artists and once made advances towards 50 Cent, but the latter promptly rejected him.
At Chris Knighty's wedding, he told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what you just say? Everybody see, don't make like it's just me, man. Let me do some like, little fluffy stuff.
Diddy allegedly invited 50 Cent for a shopping trip, which some speculate was actually an invitation for something more than just shopping. Usher has also shared some interesting stories about his time spent at Diddy's house.
Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor
some
Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it was
Camp.
called.
Well, very curious things taking place. And I didn't necessarily understand.
According to Usher, he started getting exposed to copulation, substances, and many other questionable deeds as a 14-year-old. In fact, at one point, Diddy accidentally spoke about waking up next to Usher in a video.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, I mean, damn, pause, but like, check this out. I mean, back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes.
Many fans believe Diddy was basically forced into this relationship with Clive, expressly because of his career. One wrote, Sean Diddy Combs was given his bad boy imprint by artist Clive Davis, who is openly gay. What Sean had to do for riches is not uncommon for successful black men in entertainment and politics. All that glitters is not gold. Run your race. Let the next man run his. On the other hand, some people think that the fact that the rapper hasn't spoken out about the rumors ruling the media of him being gay for years is proof enough that there's truth to those rumors. Diddy is deaf, gay, LMFAO, I no grown straight man that's not going to address a gay rumor that's been circulating for years. It is obvious that Diddy is known for dispelling rumors about his involvement with other women as fast as possible. Despite this, one fan pointed out that he has yet to address rumors regarding his sexuality, saying Diddy has cleared up the side chick claims but has yet to clear the gay rumors. It appears that Diddy and Clive have been romantically involved for several years, though they have not been forthcoming about their relationship. However, there are indications and evidence that suggest the nature of their relationship is more than platonic. That's it for today, folks. Until next time, goodbye.
Ooh, so, you know, as I said many
Diddy
times,
late nights. When anything can happen, I'm just vibing. So why?
I forgot about this.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna wear this here in Toronto. In the morning. One of the biggest suite in Toronto.
Before pause was invented, you know what I'm saying? Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes.
Nobody's going to acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid.
Amen on that night out.
I came here today just to tell the truth. So hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this. I'm 100%, the charges against me are 100% false. And hopefully due to time, we'll start to see that. Thank you very much.
You and Jennifer okay?
Listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody to kill Pac? But no,
Exactly.
do it like a journalist.
Yeah. No, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Today, I want to talk about Diddy, or P Diddy, Puff Daddy, Puffy, Brother Love, whatever. He's had many names. There was recently a lawsuit that was filed by the singer Cassie, and she was his artist, signed to his label, but also his girlfriend for a long time. And the allegations in that lawsuit were insane. When Diddy settled with Cassie, literally after one day, I basically fell down the rabbit hole. As a result of this lawsuit and settlement, people started
Now,
bringing
notice
up
something.
things. Really.
Notice something. What does she have on her head? Back in the day, SDA, do you remember when I said I need to put tinfoil on my head? You want to know why I used to say that? Because every time I would say something, people would say I was crazy. Probably Night Out, you're right. But remember, I used to say that SDA goes way back with me. And I used to say all the time, all right, it's time to put tinfoil on my head. You know, time to put tinfoil on our heads because, you know, here we are. And I would be called everything but what I actually was trying to accomplish, saying what people were doing, allegedly things that were happening, you know, through this Holly weirdo stuff. And yes, I would always say I need to put tinfoil on my head. So it's kind of strange that she has tinfoil on her head and she's saying, hear me out. Just hear me out. And people are looking at her like, you're crazy. You have tinfoil on your head. You have to have tinfoil on your head to even be able to talk about it. You know, that would be funny, would it not, Kay, if we did that? We all just sat there with tinfoil on our head. Exactly. There's a whole reasoning why you would get bad vibes, you know? A whole reasoning of it. But like, there's just so much to it. You know what I'm saying? And I remember saying that over and over to SDA. Oh my gosh, I got to put tinfoil on my head today. You know, it's that time, you know. Well, now we know why. Because people would say I was crazy. I mean, I was called crazy all the time. But it sure is funny how crazy I was that it's all starting to hit the surface now. And is everybody crazy? I mean, if I was crazy back then, is everybody crazy now? Or have they woken up to the realization that it is what it is? And sorry, but it is what it is, right? I mean, right? I mean, we need a fancy one. You know, we need to make them where you know, they're beautiful, because otherwise we say anything, we're going to be called crazy. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter how many lawsuits, how many people get paid off, whatever the deal may be, but it all goes hand in hand. So one day we're going to have to make us all a tinfoil hat. We're going to have to all decide we need more weed. We're going to have to all decide that we're going to go on panel, and we're going to have our tinfoil hats on, and we're just going to jibber jabber and gossip back and forth about different things that's going on in the, you know, Hollywood crazy industry. And that way we don't even get in trouble because we have our tinfoil hats on. We'll already be crazy. And by the way, did I not slay this wig on making it look real now? Now it looks like real hair. It actually looks real. Look at that. Look at this. It actually looks real. It does not even look like a wig anymore. That looks like just real shiny, nice hair. It took a lot of the shine down too, where it's not as shiny, but just perfect. I love it. I'm loving it. All right, back to the program with the tinfoil hat.
Disturbing things about like sexual things that he does, violence, things he does with manipulation with artists and his label, deaths that they're trying to say allegedly. My theory, my conspiracy, allegedly, don't sue me. People are saying that there are certain deaths that have surrounded him that are suspicious. I want to do what I usually do on my channel. So I'm going to give you guys the facts. Okay, we'll discuss the theories and then you can decide for yourself. I want to go through the timeline as things happened, because when you do that, you see patterns and you see a really clear picture of how we got here.
Amen.
Diddy was born Sean John Combs. He was born in Harlem and he was raised in Mount Vernon in New York. So from the beginning, Diddy had some tragedy in his life. His mom, she was a model, and his dad, he was in the Air Force, but he also allegedly had connections to the drug trade. It is said that when Sean was 2 years old, he was in the car with his dad when his dad got shot, and he basically was there witnessing his dad getting shot, and his dad died. He was also in the Catholic Church. Like, he was an altar boy as a kid, and he was sort of raised with that. So Sean actually got the nickname Puff when he was a kid.
Wow.
Because when he was a kid, he would get angry and he would quote huff and puff. And so they started calling him Puff. So that's where it comes from his childhood. And then from there, he played sports in high school, and then he got...
But when he was asked by Oprah, how did you get your name? And he said somebody, meaning one person, nicknamed him that a long time ago. And when she kept prowling, he said, I'm never going to tell you why. But I'll answer every question you have. But I am not going to tell you why. So actually, even this woman, she's just trying to think of why. But he even told Oprah he would not disclose who gave it to him and the reasoning why. So people just think it's because he got all puffy and mad when he was a kid. But I don't think that's why. He was very, very, if you go look it up about his interview with Oprah, he was very like, I'm not telling you why. I will tell you everything, but I will not tell you who and why. And that was that. So I just wanted to put that out there, because the other alleged story is that he would get angry, get upset, had a bad temper, and puff up and be, that's what they called him, Puff. But, no, she's 100% BAD, straight up. She was part of that John God. I went over that years ago. John God was arrested for trafficking um, baby harvesting, and she's the one that brought him to the forefront. Yeah. So we could talk about that another day in a private setting, and I'll fill you in. But yeah, so anyway.
Into Howard University, where he was a business major. The thing is, he wouldn't actually graduate from Howard University. He completed 2 years and then he dropped out. The reason why he dropped out is to become an intern at Uptown Records, which was owned by Andre Harrell. Andre Harrell died in 2020, and he died of natural causes. That is the official story. But even that death, there are theories that there is something suspicious about that, which we'll get to when we get to 2020 in the timeline. I just wanted to mention that so that you keep that in mind as I tell you what happened. So during this time, when he dropped out and became an intern, he was known for throwing these crazy parties when he was in college. And they were like wild, like so many people would attend. He kind of got a reputation and was in sort of this like party scene. When he then became an intern at this record label, he also was kind of doing parties and promotion and things like that. 1990, Puff is an intern at Uptown Records, and in 1991, he has his first scandal, which involves death. At this time, he is a promoter for Uptown Records, and one of the artists that is signed by Uptown Records is Heavy D. Heavy D is a rapper, and at this time, he was very popular. Heavy D also died, and people are also talking about what was going on there and whether that's suspicious. But again, we'll get to that later. But Puff is now promoting this event. He rose through the ranks pretty quickly. It's a charity basketball game, and it's at a college in New York. The gym where the basketball game was being held only had a capacity for like 2,700-ish people, but it was oversold, and so 5,000 people were in attendance. So when they reached capacity, the security closed the gym and would not let people in. So people that couldn't get in were pissed. What ended up happening is they basically like forced their way in, broke through the doors. There was like a stampede. 29 people were injured and 9 people died.
We were there at the doorway pulling people in, trying to get them. It was bananas. I pulled friends through the door.
As you can imagine, this was a big deal at the time. And the mayor of New York, his administration, they published a report about what happened, and they blamed what happened on Puff, Sean John. They basically said that he hired people who were not qualified for the job. And if he had hired people that were qualified, this would not have happened, as well as the thing being oversold and over capacity. And so although he didn't face criminal charges for this, he was mentioned in that report, and that ended up resulting in lawsuits from people whose family died in that stampede. Just like with Cassie, and just like you're going to hear over and over and over again in this video, he settled with them when they sued him for this wrongful death. As I said, he rose through the ranks pretty quickly. He basically went from an intern to an executive in just a few years. Puff actually talks about how he rose through the ranks pretty quickly, and he said, quote, "I was like a wonder kid at Uptown. The first record I produced sold 2 million copies, and I'd only produced it because the producer didn't show up. My talent is definitely a gift. I don't understand where it comes from. I don't play an instrument, and I never went to school for music production, but I know exactly how a song should sound and how to give an artist direction." Some people have theories about that. They're like, he's not necessarily a wonder kid, and they criticize him. They're like, all he does is sample other people's music, and he doesn't really have this talent. But they're claiming, okay, allegedly, and this is your opinion if you agree, but people say that he sort of did the casting couch thing. And this is going to be a really common theme that you're going to hear throughout this video, is that there's sort of this, I don't know if I want to use the word initiation, but like, in order to make it in this industry, you kind of have to do sexual things with the higher ups. Okay. And they're saying, people allegedly, that that's how he got his rise to fame. He performed certain acts and he got certain things in return. And that when he was in power, he expected the newcomers to do the same thing, sort of like this rite of passage. In 1993, he gets fired. Andre Harrell fires him. And this is why they say it happened. According to Puffy, this is why he got fired. Quote, I was very passionate and I didn't understand protocol or workplace politics. So I got fired because there can't be two kings in one castle. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful to Andre, but I was fighting so hard. He wanted to be more diplomatic and to make sure everybody felt involved. According to Andre Harrell, the reason why he fired Puffy is, quote, I fired Puff only to make him rich. I didn't want to sit there and be the one confining Puff because the corporation was telling me to do that. I'm not built that way. I told Puff he needs to go and create his own opportunity. You're red hot right now. I'm really letting you go so you can get rich. This ended up actually being one of the best things to happen to Puff career-wise because he ends up opening his own record label. But he does it with someone else. Who? Clive Davis. Okay. This is also where you have more rumors about the sort of casting couch thing. Clive Davis is this huge music executive, and he was the founder of Arista Records, huge record label. Puff goes to Clive and basically tells him, like, I want to make hip hop mainstream, and he wants to start a record label, but obviously he doesn't have the money to do that. So he's kind of looking to Clive Davis to fund this, and Clive does. And it's like a joint venture between Arista Records and what is known as Bad Boy Entertainment. He also had Biggie with him, the rapper, right? So he's like, I have this artist, I want to start my own label. And Clive Davis agrees. And that's how Bad Boy got started. Now it's 1994. And this is when shit hits the fan with regards to the murders that Diddy is allegedly, I said Diddy, I mean Puffy, whatever. I'm going to say all of the names all the time. It's hard. That's what she said. So it's 1994 and Biggie, the rapper, releases this album under the Bad Boy Records label, and it is a huge success. It's called Ready to Die. It's a classic nowadays. Also in 1994, two very bizarre and disturbing things happened. The first one is regarding Usher, the singer. And the second one is regarding Tupac, the rapper. So let's first talk about Usher, since we were talking about the whole casting couch thing. Usher at this time was like a preteen or teenager. I think he was like 13. He was a teenager. And he was just starting out in his career. And L.A. Reid, another music executive who has other allegations about him too, like it's crazy the amount of allegations of like weird sex type things. Anyway, he says, and this is all out in the open, he felt like Usher was too soft. He didn't have that sort of like edge, that street style thing. And they wanted to sort of give him an edgier image and sort of like rough him up, if you will. Puff already had that image. L.A. Reid says that he sent 13-year-old Usher to go live with
so much of
Puffy, who was in his 20s and known for these crazy wild parties and stuff, and send him to, quote, Puffy's flavor camp.
Oh my God, hang on.
There's this interview with
That's the same exact coffee that we use is the Jimbella. That's what we use. And then last night, because that's the only kind I will drink now. And then last night, Steven got some stuff that was like caramel macchiato or something, and you put it in there. Oh, and it was to die for. It was so good. It makes it like a not just coffee, but I forget what it's called, but Ginabella, that's the only thing that I will use as far as coffee. And my husband got me or Jabella got me hooked on it. Now, if I like do Dunkin' Donuts or something like that, it's nasty. It just tastes like just pure disgusting. It's so gross. So I like the Jabella. Like that is my favorite. I love it. Isn't it a good, rich, nice, just nice taste? Yes, French vanilla creamer. I use French vanilla creamer, caramel, the caramel drizzle. And then tonight or yesterday, tonight he got a hazelnut. Yeah, it was like a latte. Yes, it was like a latte. And I put it in the, it's one of those little, you can buy the pods and you put it, and then you open up the little thing that come in it, and then it makes it like a latte. Now, something I don't know if you know or not, but Jabella used to not come in a can. It used to always just come in a bag. And now it comes in a big can that's just about this big for $16. That's what I've been buying, is the can. Yeah, I don't like the Starbucks, and I don't like them. So I won't buy nothing, because they're just, you know what I'm talking about. Why give them my money?
Howard, with Howard Stern, where Usher talks about like the wild parties.
And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you
New
over
York
to
City.
something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's what it
Camp.
was called.
Hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
seeing?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
And I saw it. But I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at.
And then they ask him about, would you
see why he was like, I don't even understand what I was looking at? Okay, because he was 13, number one, and it wasn't the women running around like he would have thought. It was the other running around. And so he was like, I didn't even really understand what I was looking at. Of course, he's not going to say what it is, Yes, it was the caramel macchiato, I believe, is the one that I got. Caramel macchiato. Yeah. Which reminds me, while I'm doing this, hold on one second. While I'm doing this real quick, I'm going to go and do me a Walmart order real quick, because we're almost out of coffee, and I always have Steven pick it up tomorrow.
And your kid's there, and he's like, hell no.
You're a dad now. Would you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
And that's when I found
Hell no.
this old video of Kevin Hart, Usher, and Puffy.
That's my brother right here from day one. We used to wake up and, pause, but like, check this out.
Puffy is talking about waking up in bed with Usher when Usher was young, and some sort of thing about cereal and Frosted Flakes.
Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes. He used to always get up early with me. Now he's the richest star, brother.
Yo, nobody's gonna acknowledge this for me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the Frosted Flakes, and we're streaming live. That was stupid.
A lot of people feel like this is very inappropriate, and that's when the grooming thing comes into play, which is going to happen often. That you'll hear is that Diddy was, gay, and that he would groom these male artists that were young and up and coming, and maybe allegedly take advantage of them. Allegedly. When I was looking into this, I also stumbled on Justin Bieber, because Justin Bieber was kind of like mentored by Usher and even Puffy Diddy. And then I found this thing where L.A. Reid is talking about when Usher introduced Bieber to him, and the way he did it was, Tom, I have a gift for you. I have a gift. I'm coming with a gift. And the gift is like a little young Bieber. People are like, what, a gift? Like, it sounds weird, but it could just be like, hey, this is an amazing artist. I have a gift for you. Like, this is great. Or also could be like really, really gross. It depends on how you want to take it. So now let's talk about Tupac, because also in 1994, Tupac gets shot not when he gets killed. Before that, he got shot 5 times and he survived. And after he got out of the hospital, he did an interview where he basically accused Puffy and Biggie of being behind his attempted murder. So at this time, Tupac and Biggie are friends. Tupac knows Puffy because that's, Biggie's producer, boss, whatever you want to call it. So they all know each other. They all get along. So Tupac is in New York and he goes to this recording studio to record the record. He looks up as he's getting to the elevator to go up to the floor where they're at, and he notices a friend of Biggie's who calls out to him. He says hi, and then all of a sudden, as he's waiting for the elevator, he says that these 3 guys, they come up to him and his friends, and they pull out their guns and they basically try to rob them. They tell them, get on the ground and give us your stuff and whatever. But according to Tupac, he says that he felt like the robbery was a ruse, that they were more focused on him than anyone else, and that they shot him several times. And even the bullet that hit one of his friends was actually one that went through him first. And then he talks about how he ends up getting in the elevator, going up, and that's where he sees Biggie and Puffy and Andre Harrell, and that they were all acting really weird. And that's when he felt like they were behind it. And he talks about this in an interview with Vibe magazine. And I want to read you some quotes. So this is what Tupac says. He says, so we jumped in the elevator and went upstairs. I'm limping and everything, but I don't feel nothing. It's numb. When we get upstairs, I looked around and it scared the shit out of me. The interviewer says, why? He says, because Andre Harrell was there. Puffy was there. Biggie. There was about 40 N-words there. All of them had jewels on, more jewels than me. I saw Booker, and he had this look on his face like he was surprised to see me. Why? I had just beeped the buzzer and said I was coming upstairs. Nobody approached me. I noticed that nobody would look at me. Andre Harrell wouldn't look at me. I had been going to dinner with him the last few days. He had invited me to the set of New York Undercover, telling me he was going to get me a job. Puffy was standing back too. I knew Puffy. He knew how much stuff I had done for Biggie before he came out. Basically, what he's implying is that they were all surprised to see him because they thought he would be dead because they were behind the killing. He feels like they wanted to either take out the competition or something like that. When this interview comes out, it is sort of the beginning of this whole East Coast versus West Coast rap rivalry that went on for years. And you may or may not know is that Tupac and Biggie would end up dead. And even Puffy would be accused, allegedly, of being behind Biggie's death too. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So in 1995, Puffy starts a youth organization, almost like a charity thing for inner city youth, and it's called Daddy's House. Also in 1995, there's a famous moment that happens at the Source Awards. It's like a hip hop award show, and there is a person called Suge Knight. Okay, Suge Knight had a record label on the West Coast called Death Row Records, and Tupac was signed to Death Row. And then you've got the East Coast where Puffy has Bad Boy and Biggie is signed to Bad Boy. So they're rivals, okay? There is a moment when Suge Knight is on stage and he says something that was basically a dig at Puffy.
Any artist out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star, and won't have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the video, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
Now, although he didn't name Puffy directly, everyone knew that he was talking about Puffy. Even Puffy said that he felt like it was about him because he said, quote, I couldn't believe what he said. I thought we was boys. That's what Puffy said. Now, the reason for this is because Puffy was known, even though he was supposed to be behind the scenes and an executive and a producer, he was always in the music videos of his artists. This East Coast, West Coast thing escalates even more. And then you have a murder that happens a month after this award show's moment that people accuse Puffy of being responsible for. And that is, they're at this nightclub in Atlanta. So Suge Knight from Death Row Records and his entourage are at this club, and Puffy and his entourage are at this club as well. There seems to be some sort of scuffle, and one of the people in Puffy's entourage shoots and kills Suge Knight's friend. That very moment, Suge looks at Puffy and tells him that he believes that he is behind this. In that moment, he's like, you did this. Puffy was actually interviewed about this, and this is what he said. It says, at the mention of the incident, Puffy sucks his teeth in frustration. Here's what happened, he says. I went to Atlanta with my son. At that time, there wasn't really no drama. I didn't even have bodyguards. So that's a lie that I did. I left the club and I'm waiting for my limo talking to girls. I don't see Suge go into the club. We don't make any contact or nothing like that. He gets into a beef in the club with some N-words. I knew the majority of the club, but I don't know who he got into the beef with, what it was over or nothing like that. All I heard is that he took beef at the bar. I see people coming out. I see a lot of people that I know. I see him and I see everybody yelling and screaming and shit. I get out the limo and I go to him like, what's up? You all right? I'm trying to see if I can help him. That's my motherfucking problem, Puffy says, pounding his fist into his palm in frustration. I'm always trying to see if I can help somebody. Anyways, I get out facing him and I'm like, what's going on? What's the problem? Then I hear shots ringing out and we turn around and someone's standing right behind me. His man, God bless the dead, gets shot and he's on the floor. My back was turned. I could have got shot and he could have got shot. But right then he was like, I think you had something to do with this. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was standing right here with you. I really felt sorry for him. The sense that if he felt that way, he was showing me his insecurity. Then the interviewer asks Puffy, are you worried that he now thinks you killed his friend? Do you believe you're in danger? And Puffy says, I never knew of my life being in danger. He says calmly, I'm not saying that I'm ignorant to the rumors, but if you got a problem and somebody wants to get your ass, they don't talk about it. What it's been right now is a lot of movie making and a lot of entertainment drama. Bad boys move in silence. If somebody wants to get your ass, you're going to wake up in heaven. There ain't no record going to be made about it. It ain't going to be no interviews. It's going to be straight up. Oh shit, where am I? What are these wings on my back? Your name is Jesus Christ? When you're involved in some real shit, it's going to be some real shit. A year after this, it was some real shit because that's when Tupac was shot and killed. The person who recently got arrested like a couple months ago for this murder, who admitted to it, claims that Diddy is the one who paid him. Okay, so keep that in mind as I tell you what happens. Before Tupac was murdered, though, on June 30th, 1996, there was this incident that happened. Puffy was taken to a hospital in New York, and he was treated for a, quote, deep cut to his lower right arm. And the Daily News called it a slit wrist. And the implication was that he did it to himself, like to sort of like unalive himself, if you will. And so during this interview, he was asked about this. And this is what he said. Puffy calls the story nonsense. Quote, I was playing with my girl and I reached for a champagne glass and it broke on my bracelet, cutting my arm. The girl who he's talking about at this time is Kim Porter. Kim Porter,
I remember now,
died in 2018. This is one of the deaths that people are talking about now because it was ruled as a natural death, like she died of pneumonia. And people from back then, even including one of her exes, said that this wasn't a natural death. Someone was out to get her. And people were saying that like Diddy was behind Kim Porter's death. Here in 1996, there's a story coming out that he has this slit in his wrist and he had to get hospitalized for it. And he is saying that he was, quote, playing with his girl, who was Kim Porter at the time. His ex-bodyguard, his name is Gene Deal. He talks about an incident that to me is exactly like what this is talking about, and I believe that they're the same incident, allegedly. This is my theory, okay?
One night, when they were at home at Kim's house on 110th Street, he wanted to, put his hands on her in the wrong way. And Kim took one of those corkscrews and ripped his wrists up and hit an artery. And when she did that, he had to rush over to St. Luke's Hospital.
This incident happened just a few months before Tupac was killed. There's a guy, his name is Dwayne Keith Davis, but he goes by Keefy D, and he is a gang member. He's a member of the South Side Crips in LA. And he has ties, though, to Puffy and that entourage. Now, this is the guy who got arrested for Tupac's murder. He wrote a book talking about it. He did interviews talking about it. And then that's how he got on police radar. And when police looked into it, they said that they could corroborate his story. He knew things that nobody would know unless they were there and involved. And so when he is saying that he did it, and he is saying that Diddy ordered him to do it, it makes people think, did he do it? Did he? So according to Keefy D, the hit that was ordered originally was on Suge Knight, because Tupac and Suge Knight were in the car together when Tupac was shot and killed. According to Keefy D, first it was about killing Suge. Why? Because Suge, remember, felt like Puffy killed his friend, right? And so there was this incident that happened where gang members that were affiliated with Suge Knight went to someone who was affiliated with Puffy and asked him to give them Puffy's mom's address. This person refused to give them Puffy's mom's address, and so they beat him nearly to death. According to Keefy D, when Puffy found out that Suge was sending people to figure out where his mom lived and was beating them and all this stuff, he felt like he was in danger. He was really about to get killed, or his mom would get hurt or something like that. According to Keefy D, he wanted to take Suge out first. All right. Also, according to Keefy D, is that around this time, right, remember, Tupac is out here saying that Puffy and Biggie tried to kill him. And there's this whole beef going on, and they're making diss tracks. And one of the diss tracks that comes out is called Hit 'Em Up. It's a song by Tupac, very disrespectful to Biggie and Puffy and all that. So according to Keefy D, when that song came out, it pissed Puffy off. And so he said, you know what? Kill both of them. I will give you $1 million to kill Suge Knight and Tupac. Now, according to Keefy D, there were two people involved as well as him in this murder, Tupac's murder. One is his nephew, Orlando Anderson, who's known as Baby Lane. And the other guy is Earl Martin, who goes by Eric Von Zip, or Zip for short. I'm going to refer to him as Zip. Now, Zip has strong ties with Diddy. Like, there's pictures of them together. He's also a gang member, providing quote unquote security for these rappers and stuff like that. Zip was very connected to Puff Daddy and even Biggie, the rapper, all of them. They were all connected because it says here that he was the godfather of Biggie's kid. Zip is the person who introduced the singer Faith Evans to Puffy, and Zip was allegedly present at both Tupac and Biggie's murders. So this is a quote from a recording where Keefy D is talking to police.
So it's Pharrell, you, Puffy, Zip, and a bunch of Southsiders.
Yeah, that was stupid as hell too, you know. Shit, he said he'd give us anything for them dudes there, you know. Yeah, he said it in front of all the people. I couldn't believe it.
They didn't really have an exact date and time set. According to Keefy D, they happened to go to Las Vegas. There was a fight. Mike Tyson was fighting someone. Tupac was also there for the fight. Now, during this Vegas trip, before Tupac got killed, he got into this big brawl, and it's captured on security footage. What happened was that Diddy allegedly was so mad at Tupac and Suge that he had offered $10,000 if someone could steal a death row chain and bring him a death row chain. And this is like a thing in the rap world where, like, if you have a beef with someone or another group, that you steal their chain and then you like publicly show that you have the chain of the person you're fighting with, like kind of like a trophy, like I stole their chain, like they're bitches or whatever. Orlando Anderson, Keefe D's nephew, was involved in stealing a death row chain prior to them going to Las Vegas. Tupac, with his group, noticed him in the MGM hotel lobby, recognized him as someone involved with stealing the chain, and that's how they got into this brawl. So they're basically hitting him for stealing the chain. But what Tupac didn't know was that this hit was out on him, that the person he beat up was the nephew of the guy who was going to kill him, and that Zip and Keefe D were in Vegas at that time. Now, according to Keefe D, he said, I wasn't planning on doing it in Vegas. I didn't even have a pistol with me. But Zip had guns with him. And so when they found out that Tupac and his crew jumped Keefe D's nephew, they said, you know what? Let's do it now.
Perfect opportunity, baby.
That was Zip talking?
Yeah.
Because of what happened with
And that's when you have the infamous incident, right? There's even a photograph of Tupac and Suge right before they get shot in the car that they would get shot in, the black BMW. The car that did this drive-by shooting that killed Tupac was a white Cadillac. And in that white Cadillac was Orlando Anderson, the nephew who got jumped, Keefe D, the guy who recently got arrested, and Zip. And so they end up pulling up next to that car. They're trying to kill both Suge and Tupac, according to Keefe D, but Suge only got a graze. It hit his head, but the bullet grazed Suge. Suge didn't die. Suge is still alive. He's in prison right now, but he's alive. Tupac died. Now, according to Keefe D, because Suge was alive and Tupac was dead, they only got $500,000. According to Keefe D, a few days after the murder, he's hanging out with Zip in Las Vegas when they get a call from Puffy. And Puffy says, was that you? Like, are you guys responsible for this? And they say yes. And according to Keefe D, Puffy was, quote, happy as hell. So now that they've done that, they're expecting to get paid. According to Keefe D, he never heard from them ever again. And then Keefe D ends up getting caught up in something else and getting arrested and going to federal prison. And what ends up happening is shortly after Tupac's killing, Orlando Anderson gets killed in retaliation by LA gang members because there was this footage of the fight before and people were saying he was involved. So the whole street justice thing happened. What is Zip doing? Well, Zip took all the $500K, allegedly, kept it for himself, didn't share it with anyone, and actually ended up opening a nightclub with that money called Zip Code. However, Zip would end up getting shot by a gang member and he ends up dying at some point. According to Keefe D, this is why he ends up snitching. The detective says, since you've been out of prison, have you talked to Zip? Keefe says, not one time. The detective says, what about Puffy? Keefe says, not one time. I tried to call them several times though. If you would have just given us half the money, I would have stayed strong. Keep in mind, in the court of public opinion at this time, in the 90s, people already were saying that Puffy was somehow involved because you had that incident in 1994 where Tupac got shot and he survived and he told everyone that Biggie and Puffy were behind it. And then now he actually gets killed and people are like, they finally did what they wanted to do. According to an ex-LAPD officer,
So this woman did a really good job of putting all of this together and stuff. And there is her thing, because I wanted to come out and do it, but I haven't had time because I've been doing wigs and all kinds of stuff like that, you know. But that is her channel, and in the description below will be her channel as well as all the videos that we went through tonight. But it has been 3 hours and 49 minutes, and I need to go to Sleepy Town because I've got a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow night, I've got a wig install. So I got to install one of those units that we looked at today, or this evening, I should say. And I'm going to do it in 30 minutes or 45 minutes or less is my goal for tomorrow night. I slayed it the first time, but I took a long time doing it. This time I'm going to be doing it in 45 minutes or less. So I hope to see all of you here tomorrow night. I'm going to start about 6 p.m. and I hope to see all of you here. You guys have magical dreams. Thank you, everyone that is members. You're all beauties. Just remember that. Please hit your thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and the bell for all notifications. And if you're not following me on my Instagram, go follow me on my Instagram at bwasham75. I love each and every one of you. Have magical, sweet dreams and an amazing day tomorrow. Mwah. And I'm out.